Boo. I feel like I haven't been on here in forever. When you're not around, update everybody on. Thank you. I'm gonna update everybody on what's been going on with me. I'm gonna pull some cards and check in with the energy. I'll do a little energy check. And retrograde is over, so I can't bring my sage up in this hotel either. I thought about it and I was like, the alarm's gonna just go off and I'm gonna get kicked out the hotel. So I decided against it. What's up, Shawnee? I'm gonna get started in a minute. We're gonna talk about everything that's been going on, the retrograde finally being over. How did y'all fare with the retrograde? What did you learn? What were you called to put some attention and intention into? And how did you do? How you doing overall? And also, if you guys are in Texas and you need some resources, DM me because I've been coming across a few things that people have been posting. So I want to share that as well if you need it. But hopefully, everybody's kind of getting back to their normal, some sense of normalcy. All right, let me get right into it. So, this retrograde kicked my ass. I'm gonna just be completely honest about it. It completely kicked my ass. I the retrograde started off rocky for me. I don't know if y'all were on that live, but when I went live that night, it was the beginning of all of this weather and all this energy that blew through Texas. And just from there, it was just, I just had some ups and downs with the retrograde. However, my friend and I decided to do a detox and do a cleanse. And we got into that and got started with that. And it's a 10-day cleanse. We had decided somewhere in the middle of the cleanse that we were going to do 9 days, just getting into the vibration of the number nine, right? So we start the cleanse, we start getting into the cleanse, and it was kind of rough. It was kind of rough. It wasn't the cleanse. We went into it very intentionally. My intention personally going into the cleanse was to release some things that I had been carrying. This when this year started, I got the message that I needed to go deeper in order to elevate higher. So I knew that I needed to give up some things. That I really needed to do either some fasting or just like some detoxing. And so my friend and I got together and we decided that we were going to, do this detox. So we get into the detox, and on day 2 of the detox, it was like I went into the darkness. I went into the darkness. If you guys have never done a detox or like an extended fast, specifically with detoxes, it's not just a physical detox, it's also a spiritual thing. So as you're detoxing like physically, you're also detoxing spiritually. And a lot of times things can come up when you're detoxing that you need to address. And I found it really significant. I didn't plan to do it during the Mercury retrograde. I didn't plan to do it during a specific moon cycle, but it was like everything was just falling into place. And the moment we decided on like our dates for this detox, it was like Spirit just sent all the resources, all the tools that we needed, everything that we needed in order to like assist us through the actual spiritual aspects of this detox, right? So day two, I'm like in the shower and all of a sudden I just am like boohoo crying, and I just literally, it was like I hit this slope, and I like kind of like mentally like I look up and I'm like, damn, am I depressed? Like when did this happen? And then I remember like some of the things that I had been told about detox. And, this wasn't my first detox, but I had never experienced anything like this. But what I realized, in those moments was like when you do something spiritually, when you like set an intention for making a sacrifice or giving up something and really doing something for yourself to evolve spiritually, you're going to meet yourself. You're going to meet your shadow self. You're going to meet your higher self. You're going to meet every aspect of who you are, right? And so I met, that dark side, that shadow side of myself, and those things that I really needed to address. And I was just like, it was such a dark space in that moment. And I just remember like pulling myself out. I had some chanting and some meditations that I just put on, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to push through this, because in the midst of all that, I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing this cleanse anymore. Like I'm not doing whatever I'm supposed to be on right now. It was just like everything was trying to pull me away from doing this cleanse and really digging deeper to uproot some things that I needed to uproot, right? So in that moment, like I just put on some chanting and just like went deeper. I went and met myself where I was. And I pulled myself back out of that gently, but I pulled myself and coached myself back out of that dark space that I was finding myself in that moment. So going through the detox, I really felt like I had a breakthrough, during day two, just on day two. Not to mention how I felt physically. I was waking up at the same time, like 5:41 every morning, 5:46, 5:47. It was like in the same time frame, in the same time period, just waking up like in the middle of the night, well, in the early hours of the morning. And just getting up early and just being energized, not just physically but spiritually. And my friend and I just went on this journey together. I had to cut it short because of the storm that hit here in Texas. We ended up losing power. We lost power on Monday, probably like in the 1 o'clock hour of the morning. Like my fiance and I both woke up and we're like, dang, it's kind of cold in here. Like, what happened to the air? So we really thought that they were like power cycling, where they shut your power off temporarily to like if to keep the whole grid basically from going out. So to keep the whole system from crashing, they will power cycle. And that's what a lot of people were going through, right? So, we woke up and thought like maybe they were just doing a little temporary shut off or whatever, but then we fell back asleep because we were like covered up, right? So sometime in between the time like we fell asleep and the time we got back up, it got colder. And so when we woke up, we realized like, no, we out of power, out of power. And we realized that like the whole community was out of power. So I immediately, my spirit was like, girl, book a hotel like now. So I booked something and we were able to stay in hotels. We kind of had to bounce around because once that whole thing happened in this area, and it's a large area that was affected, not just Houston, not just Dallas, but like the whole surrounding areas and in between, a lot of people were affected. From what I heard, it was somewhere between like 4 and 6 million people all the way down to Mexico were affected by this storm, right? So as we like, I booked the hotel the first day. We get into the hotel, cool. The next day, like that night, as I was getting ready to book something for the next day, we couldn't stay at that hotel anymore because it was booked up for the next day. So we kind of bounced around for 4 days in different hotels because you couldn't book. And we were, what I was trying to do, like as we were booking this, we didn't know how long we were going to be without power. We didn't know like what was going to be going on. So I didn't want to book like too many days in advance if our power was going to come on the next day or the following day. So I kind of tried to play it like, by every 2 days. So started booking things, finally got closer to home, which is where we are now and where we'll be until our water situation is taken care of. We got power, I want to say Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Wednesday? I think Wednesday we got power back. And then we find out that we have, our pipes in our building are burst. So dealing with that, we are good. We are safe. We didn't miss a meal. We didn't miss any, everything that we needed was provided to us, even gas. Like I noticed that gas was starting to run out. But as we were moving along, through just spirit looking out for us, just guidance. We stopped. We happened to stop at this one gas station when everybody else was out, and ended up finding some gas. So everything that we needed was provided to us along the way, and I'm just thankful for that. It's definitely been a little bit uncomfortable, but the beautiful thing about being really being in tune and connected divinely is that you can experience these things, and not saying it won't affect you in any way. You may find yourself a little bit uncomfortable at times, but everything that you need is always provided to you in the moment that you need it. And when those things that you think you need are not provided, it's still for a divine purpose. Everything is divine, everything happens for a reason. And honestly, I feel like this happening in the region that it happened in Texas, in a place where, it never really snows, we have to remember that we have to stay alert and we have to stay aware and stay prepared. I've been talking about this since last year. Like, how are we prepared for different situations? Are we relying too much on other people to supply for us, other people to provide, the basic necessities for us? Are we prepared for the possibility of being without water or food running out? Like, there were hour and a half long waits for food most of those days, between like Monday and, I would say, yesterday. Things kind of started to get back a little bit less. It was a little bit less confusion. It was a little bit less, a little bit shorter lines than previously. But in those, like, Monday through Thursday, the lines to get food were like an hour, hour and a half. I mean, wrapped around the building and down the street. I have pictures and I have to post them in my stories. But yeah, there is. How do we deal with food shortages? Are we prepared for that? Are we prepared for the water to get cut off? Can we take care of ourselves? Do we know how to create a fire? Do we know how to keep warm? Like, these are things that, even for me, having talked about, like, we need to be prepared, to show me how unprepared I was in a lot of ways. Yeah, we have water, yeah, we have food supply, not a super big food supply because of where we live, but it still showed how unprepared we really were. And um, yeah, it's a wake up call. It's definitely a wake up call because it can happen. These things happen in different parts of the country. You always feel like, oh, that ain't happening to me. That's not happening in my neck of the woods, but it can. And for a lot of, for some people, it happens to you. It does happen and hit in your community, in your neck of the woods. So how prepared are you? Just basic food and some kind of water supply. Like, how prepared are we really? So it was definitely a wake up call because I've been saying since last year, like, be prepared for something to happen. I even said it in my 2021 reading at the beginning of the year, to get y'all stash together, to get your stuff together. And I'm telling you, you never know. You never know. It's like we need to be prepared. So let me check in. And thank you for those of you that did DM me, that did check up on me. I appreciate it. Those that have my phone number, that text me, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I was also checking on people that I knew was in Texas. So um, it's not all that's going to occur this year. So hopefully people are taking heed to these climate changes. Yeah, it's not just, I don't even think it's just climate changes either. Well, let me say this. I don't think it's just global warming. I think it's a combination of global warming. It's a combination of, manipulated weather patterns, because there was some. So my friend is always like, "What's your clouds like? What y'all clouds looking like?" And I mean, she and I were just talking about how the clouds were looking, and she was like, "Yeah, that sounds a little fishy to me." And then the storm blows through, and I'm not saying that that is what caused it. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't study cloud patterns. I don't study climate changes. That's not my field. That's not my lane. So I'm going to stay in my lane. But I will say that we already know that there is a battle for power. There's a battle for control. There's a battle for authority. Okay. And what's the easiest way? Once you cut off the food supply and the water supply, people, sometimes we be having drills ran on us and we don't even realize that we are part of an exercise. We don't even realize that we are part of something that's like happening, some little practice that's going on for people that are in authority and in power and in control, to see how do the people react, how will the people behave if this happens, if that happens, can they last, like what will people do, how will they react. And one thing that's really important is that we, this year is very, very, very important for us to get with people within our community. And your community don't always look like you. Okay, sometimes your community, I mean, your community is the people that you live around, the people that in a moment of crisis that are going to be the closest thing to you if you need some assistance. You know, my neighbor below us, who act like she can't speak, she always acting funny, suddenly needed some, she needed to speak to us about some things, she needed, some insight from us, she needed some help from us. But it's like I'm looking at her like, yeah, you coming to me now, but when I've said hello or good morning, you act like you can't speak to us. So it's really interesting, like how community and what community means has changed for a lot of us, because we moved into different areas with a variety of demographics, the variety of um, cultures and things like that. But that's still our community, and we have to stop looking at the avatar and start connecting with people on an energetic level, and really figuring out who we can rely on, who we can connect with, and who our go-to people are going to be in our community in moments of crisis. Okay, because it's not the first, it won't be the last. There is more to come. This year has just started. It's only February. It's only February. January started off with a bang. We're in February. We haven't even got, we're just getting halfway through February. Like, we still have 10 more months to go in 2021. Trust me, there are going to be some other events that occur. But this year, we really need to learn how to rely on and be reliable for our community. Okay? Seems community is underrated until there's a crisis. Exactly. Exactly. We again, yes, and thank you, Turquoise Majesty. Turquoise Majesty said it's a universal 5 year. I talked about that in 2021 in my January reading. It is a universal 5 year. That means there are going to be challenges, there are going to be changes. Okay, we're in the midst of these changes, of these challenges. Like, in order for new structures to be built, in order for the old regimes to be torn down, there has to be some discomfort. There's going to be some things shaken up. There's going to be some disruption. Okay. And in order for us to really see the changes that we want to see, there's going to be some discomfort. There's going to be some moments of discomfort, some moments of uncertainty, even. But we have to, one, trust the process, and two, know that, like, stay grounded. stay grounded and know that you're protected. Just, I think it's really important that people stop looking at race and skin color for community, because I think, especially as the black community, like that's where we've really got it fucked up, because we're looking at people that look like us, and all skin folk ain't kin folk. And I just got to be honest and real about that, because I think like the biggest way that we get played is by expecting people that look like us to have our back, not knowing what a person's agenda is, or ignoring like what we have seen them show that their ulterior motives really are, what their end game really is. Okay, so we got to stop looking at that and really examine like a person's behaviors, their characteristics. We got to get past the avatar, because if y'all really understand spirituality, you'll know that entities and beings can shapeshift. They can take the form. They can look just like you. Like what we seen in these movies about how these avatars shapeshift, and y'all seen we seen it in cartoons when we were kids. They would shapeshift, and you don't know who the good one, who the bad one. It's the same way. Like we were being put up on game back then when we were kids. Pay attention. Stop looking at a person's avatar and really pay attention to the energy that they carry. Let's see, Turquoise Majesty over here spitting, especially during Pisces season, because this energy is not grounding. Facts, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Yes, and quit worrying about their sexuality and social status. Look deeper. I completely agree. Completely agree. Thank you. Thank you, Turquoise Majesty. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got to get past like that surface level shit. And I've been saying that as well. I'm going to pull a few cards. We made it through the Mercury retrograde. We are still in the shadow period though, so don't get it twisted. And now we're in Pisces season. And anytime we're dealing with like that watery energy, you have to understand that it's not grounded. It's flowing. Okay, it's flowing. So pay attention. Pay attention to how your energy is feeling around the people. Pay attention to the flow and the shifts in energy. And in the midst of all of the watery energy, we have to know how to ground ourselves, how to anchor ourselves in the midst of all this energy. It's really important. But get to know your neighbors, get to know the people in your neighborhood, get to know the people that you at the grocery store where you shop. You know, it's been so many times just me talking to people, just me being like how I am, and I'll talk to people in the store. Like there have been moments, not with me living here, but just in the past, where because the people that I in the grocery store that I shopped at, like if there was something that they knew I needed or was coming for, they would hold it for me. They would look out for me, and you never know. You never know. So it doesn't hurt to be friendly. It doesn't hurt to speak and smile at people, even under the mask. People can tell your energy, even with the mask on. Okay. Pull a few cards. We're going to check out the energy and see what message Spirit might have for us tonight. If you guys want a card pull, I am doing some free card pulls tonight. So I'll do a few, and then I'm going to hop off of here. I'm supposed to release the latest podcast episode, and then all this stuff happened, and it's ready to go when I get back home. You know, I'm going to definitely get that situated, but it's definitely been an exhausting week. I will say that. It's been an exhausting week. Um, especially just moving from place to place. Like, I don't see how artists that like tour, like 30 city tour in 30 days, like, I don't see how they do it. I was tired, and it was only like 4 days. And I'm like, woo, I can't do this too much. So we're going to check in with the energy. It's officially Pisces season. I will be back to do my monthly, energy reports at the beginning of the month. But I just want to pull a few cards and check in and see what Spirit wants to say to us. You've handled it so gracefully. I've been like MIA. I've been MIA. I have not been posting. I have not been studying social media, and not that I haven't been studying y'all, my peoples, but I just like had to just kind of like step back, just in general. Even before this, um, I'm just being called into some new spaces, and so I'm working on that, working on moving into some new spaces because I want to be connected with my community in a way where we are exchanging energy and not just me giving of myself. Okay. So I'm embracing what's next, which is going to be a subscription based community program. It's not going to be expensive, but it is going to be a subscription based program where I'm going to be taking like the monthly energy reports that I do. They'll be taken there. All right, I pulled quite a few cards. Some of these just popped out, but we're gonna get into each and every card. The World card upside down. I really feel like this starting off our reading. You know, we are. Some people might say we're in a crisis, but I really feel like we're experiencing growing pains. We're experiencing the discomfort of change. We're experiencing even with things that occur that seem to be disruptive, or we might look at them like, oh, that's negative energy. You have to understand that it's a very necessary energy, because without it, we don't fall in alignment or stay in alignment with where we're supposed to be, with doing our part, with playing our role, with playing our position. So everything that's happening is very necessary. Although it may be a little uncomfortable, it's very necessary. So even with whatever may occur with you with the Mercury retrograde, like pause and ask yourself, what is this moment trying to expose me to? What is this moment trying to show me? What do I need in this moment? Like, what do I need? And really stopping to pause and really examine, like, what is it that I need in this moment to be okay, to make it through, to push through. So sometimes we have to understand that although the energy may feel a little bit disruptive, it may feel a little bit uncomfortable, we're just in the midst of some growing pains. Okay. You, like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. Think about all the hard work that it takes to build a dynasty. It's not an overnight process. There's a lot of uncomfortable moments. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it. There's some injuries. Sometimes you're having to sacrifice some things in order to see that dream through. Okay. Then we have our King of Cups. King of Cups. Um, this card can represent charity. It also represents this person being on a concrete throne in the middle of all of the disruptive energy, or seemingly disruptive energy, in the midst of all the potential chaos. He is on solid foundation. Okay. He's not bothered. He ain't tripping. He in the middle of the water. He is literally in the middle of the water. But there go that Pisces fish right there. But he is secure. He's on solid foundation. He's anchored, even in the midst of the water, and even in the midst of that watery energy, he's anchored. Okay. So it's really important for us to realize, like, what anchors me, what keeps me grounded, even in the midst of chaos. Like, there were some moments during that detox that I just had to take a fucking nap. Okay. It was like I just needed to take a nap because I knew that I needed to I just needed to turn it off. I just needed to turn, like, the chatter, the distractions, I just needed to turn it off. And when I would go to sleep, I would dream, and spirit would speak to me in my dreams. So sometimes stepping, me kind of stepping back and really allowing myself to rest for a moment and to be still for a moment, I still allow spirit to speak to me without all the extra chatter. All right. Kay says, Houston, Texas here. Please keep me in the loop. All right. Hopefully you have some resources, Kay. But if you don't, DM me because I've been seeing some stuff, and as I see stuff, I'll forward it over to you if you need like some resources. Um, and put your cash out below if you guys want to assist Kay in any way. She's in Houston. Houston got hit very hard. I mean, we got hit hard here in Dallas, but Houston definitely like got hit hard by these storms. So if you guys want to support her in any way, you guys feel free to send her some love through the Cash App. All right, and thank you to people that just sent me. Like I had some of my clients that just sent me some money, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, Kay, put your Cash App down here. Put your Cash App in the comments. I'm also gonna put my Cash App if you guys want to make any monetary donations, show me any love. I appreciate it. And don't feel obligated to if that's what okay. Danielle said check her feed. She's posted a lot of resources. Yeah, I've been seeing her post some resources. So there we go. Our next card was the Emperor, dominance. The Emperor represents like dominance, and to me, he represents like that divine masculine energy. The Emperor comes through as an authority figure, in my opinion, you know, an authority figure. And I think that in in these moments of like change, we're seeing we're seeing a shift in power. We're seeing a shift in the energy. And I find it really interesting that the queen comes through right after the emperor. You know, she comes through and she brings her own energy. But we're going to talk about the emperor real quick. The emperor is coming through and he's bringing more of the authority and more of the, I don't want to say this, what's the word for it, he's bringing more of the security and stability to the situation. All right, he's bringing more security and stability to this situation. And then we had, followed by the emperor, we had the queen of staffs. And the queen of staffs is coming through, and again, these are people that, if we look at the cards that have come through, these are people that are very like very secure, very stable, very grounded. Each of them is sitting on something solid. Each of them have their feet planted. I mean, the queen of staff, she have her legs crossed, she's real relaxed, but they are grounded. And I think it's really important that even during these moments of chaos, that again we stay grounded, that we know how to anchor ourselves, that we know where our community lies, that we know the people that we can talk to, the people that we can tap into and connect with, that aren't going to feed our fear, but help us strengthen our faith. Okay, because these are not the moments that you want to be all fucked up in your emotions. These are not the moments where you want to be running around with all this chaotic energy. But really, you know, the Queen of Staff, she comes through with an expression of power. You know, she comes through with creativity. You know, with finding a way through the situation, with finding a way to work through and pass, not allowing like the circumstance to just defeat her, but really working through that energy and really getting creative. There were some moments during this week that we had to get creative. We had to really like stop and think, like, okay, what are we going to do next? Like, not really worrying about what the circumstance and situation look like, but really getting creative and getting in our bag and really figuring out like, what are we going to do next? How are we going to move next? And not allowing all the chaos, because there was a lot of chaos. I mean, you could just, as an empath, I could just hear everybody in their worry. I could just hear people and their panic. You know, they went to the grocery store and bought up all the water. And I get it. You know, a lot of people's water is off. They bought up all, like, we could go into the grocery store and literally all of the food in the coolers was gone. The coolers were literally empty. And again, after this, I'll post some pictures in my stories. I always say that, and then I don't be posting shit. I'm gonna post some pictures though in my stories to show you guys as we were moving around the city, like people were really like the gas was gone. There was no gas yesterday or the day before. Even today, it's really no gas. I haven't really seen people getting gas. I saw one gas station where people seemed like they were trying to get gas, and I don't know if they were successful, but people really like panic. And in the midst of all of that, you have to be able to ground yourself in that moment, in the moment of chaos, and really tap into your creativity and figure a way that's like out of the norm. Okay. Um, then we have the death card. And the death card comes through with the energy of rebirth, of old systems falling apart, old strategies, old ways of thinking, old habits falling off, and new things being built up in their place. But the death has to occur. The death has to occur. It doesn't just, we don't just get the new, beautiful, shining things. We have to experience the process of that death, of the dying off of the current way that we exist, the current way that we think, the current way that we live, and the current way that we treat each other. That has to expire. It's not working for us. It's not benefiting us, and we have to be able to move on past that in order to move into the new energy of the world that we say we really want to live in. Okay. So let me see. I have some oracle cards that I pulled as well. Let's see. Adrian says, say it again. Don't feed my fear, feed my faith. Yes, ma'am. That's right. Danielle says, use them skills we didn't know we had. Yes. Okay. You had to use the skills you didn't know you had. Like, for real, for real. We got to the gas station. Everybody's trying to pump unleaded. Everybody's trying to pump 87. And I was like, pump that pump that high dollar shit, pump the high dollar shit. And sure enough, we were able to fill the truck back up on that high dollar gas, that 93. Y'all know the gas that nobody ever want to buy, that 93, that high level. We had to go top tier with the gasoline, but we got gas. Okay, so sometimes you got to like pause for a moment, step out of yourself, and allow like, and I really think that going on this detox prior to all this happening really helped me, because I've shared with you guys how my anxiety fucks with me. Okay. I've shared with you guys how like my anxiety really would try to take over, and I had to do a lot of root chakra work during this detox. Like I had to do a lot of root chakra work. Like my root was just, it was completely out of alignment. And I had to be real with myself about my fears. I had to be real with myself about like my fear of death, my fear of just failure, just all the different fears that play on me, in certain moments. And usually in moments where things like this occur, like my anxiety is gonna be like, and I felt that. I felt that. We were in the middle of the night as that storm was coming through. Y'all already, if y'all have followed me for a while, y'all already know the only reason I don't like living here in Texas is because tornadoes, right? But I've really been working with my anxiety and my fear of storms because it's related to my fear of death. Okay. So during this detox, I was addressing my root chakra, my safety, my security, my fears, and really speaking to that and being honest and being vulnerable about my need for support through that. And as that storm blew through overnight, that first night, Sunday night, I could feel the anxiety start to raise, and I had to speak to my fear. And I was just like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Okay. So if death is what we are most terrified of in this moment, so what? If we die, okay, there's something after that. We move on to the next thing. So just in speaking to my fear and my anxiety, it completely calmed down, and I was able to rest in the midst of that storm. And y'all, in our condo, we are on the third floor, beautiful view, but we get all the high winds. We get all the cuts of the wind that come through, and it's not always like you really hear and feel it when there's a storm coming through. And so, to be able to sleep through that and not be like literally like shaking with anxiety or just experiencing, fear. of whatever may possibly occur, like I really have been able to like speak to my fear and speak to my anxiety. And I mean, that's, I'm sharing that with you guys because, even those of us that do work in spiritual community, even those of us that are healers, like we have our own demons that we fight. We have our own issues that we have to work with, our own shadow work. And that's all I did during those 8 days of us detoxing, is did shadow work and addressed my chakras and balanced myself out and spoke to myself and built myself up, because there are some things that I know the fear comes in to dismantle, to interrupt some things that I'm supposed to be here to do for the community, that I can't do in a state of fear. I can't do in a state of anxiety. I can't do in a state of hesitation or uncertainty of my own self, of my own calling, of my own gifts. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I know I'm not the only one that may deal with anxiety. I'm not the only one that may go through things like that. But just understand, like, it's a continual process and we have to work through those things. Our I'm gonna save this card for last. But again, okay, so here we go. Root chakra. Root chakra, that foundation. So here again, we talked about how we are in a restructuring period, right? And our foundation may feel like it's being shaken, but understand, like, some of these things, excuse me, that are rooted in our lives have to be uprooted. There are some things that have to be uprooted, and it can be uncomfortable, but understand that we are rebuilding on solid foundation. We're not building on fear, okay? We're building on a solid foundation, and that takes work, okay? It takes a lot of inner work to restructure our entire lives, when we realize that there were so many errors in how we were taught to exist. There were so many errors in the habits that we were taught or allowed to develop as children, in the ways that the schools taught us. There were so many errors and so many things to do with the foundation of who we once thought of ourselves to be. But now, as evolved individuals, or as evolving individuals, we realize that we're not those individuals anymore. So we have to go in and we have to uproot all this shit. We have to pull up the roots. And I wrote a post about this the other week. Um, I'm gonna read it to you guys, because in a moment of me doing some of that shadow work, like, spirit was like, we have so much work, like, to still do on ourselves. And even when we think like, oh, I have made it so far, I have evolved so much, like, it's going to only take one situation that triggers you into realizing how much more work you have to do on yourself, right? And I wrote, we spend our lives pulling up roots, because it's not just one thing that we need to heal from. It's multiple things, and it's a continual healing process. You have to keep conquering fears and overcoming obstacles. That's the journey. And that was revealed to me as part of our current, a lot of us in our current journeys is like uprooting. And then as we uproot some of those roots that have gone and have grown so deep, like, we have to replace that with something else. So root chakra work. Also, suffering in silence. Suffering in silence. Like, how many of us just sit back and allow ourselves to, like I said just a moment ago, and I didn't look at these cards as I was drawing them. I just kind of drew them and set them to the side. But suffering in silence, like, a lot of us suffer with our anxiety or other issues that we have. We suffer in silence. We silently suffer with depression, and because we are afraid to ask for help, because that we have to be vulnerable to ask for help, which means that we have to look like that picturesque life that people think that we live. We now have to debunk the myth that we live in perfection. Okay, we have to, like, allow ourselves to be human, okay, to not be filtered, okay, to the T. We have to allow ourselves to really stand naked in front of people and say like I have an issue. But I love the I love the vibration of 9. Okay? 9 is a holy number. 9 is like the vibration of the number 9 is very godly. And in order for us to really evolve, but not just in the sense of evolution for our personal gain, but just evolve on the level to where we don't have to come back and repeat these lessons in life or afterlife in another form. Like, in order for us to really get past some of these karmic lessons that we are here learning, like in this moment, we're going to have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to allow ourselves to be completely naked in front of the world, to say, not physically of course, but but if that's what you need to do, then do that. But really being naked and being vulnerable enough to say like, this is my struggle. And there is power in speaking up about what we're struggling with, who we are, and speaking up about our stories and our journeys, because there's somebody else that is experiencing the exact same thing. And once we speak up and we humanize ourselves and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we allow ourselves to be seen, we can then heal and we can grow and evolve past that thing that is not even a definition of who we are. It's just a part of our experience. We can grow past that. Okay. We then have heartache and loss. Um, the energy that I'm getting off of this and the message that I'm receiving right now is that some people are afraid to release and let go of these old ideas and habits because they're tied to who you think you are. They're tied to who your parents were. They're tied to the people that raised you and how you viewed them and seen them. And if you look at the flaws of your childhood, it's almost like you're looking at those individuals as flawed too, or as wrong. And we don't want to look at Big Mama as being wrong in her ways of thinking and in her ways of how she saw people and how she talked about people and the titles that she put on others. We don't want to look at her, and we don't want to look at Big Mama and say like that was wrong, that was dead ass wrong, that was incorrect, because somehow that takes away from who she was, and that's not the case. But in releasing some of these ideas and some of these habits and these thought patterns and behaviors that have to go, they have to go. They cannot ascend with you. Some of these weighted things, that it is going to feel like a loss, because there is going to be a void there that has to be filled. So I want to encourage you guys definitely to start at the root, work on that foundation, examine that. And from the root, I like to go to the heart, because although we do have chakras in between that, um, addressing the root, addressing our foundation, once we can stabilize the foundation and make sure that that is secure, we can then go to the heart and we can heal the things that our unstabilized foundations might have caused us. Okay. So I'm gonna read the an excerpt from this last card. And then if you guys want me to pull a few cards for you, I most certainly will. Let me kind of go through some of these comments and see what y'all are saying. Thank y'all for popping through too. Um, Adrian said, on top of being an empath, you handled this so well. Thank you. I was on Adrian line every day. That's my friend that did the detox with me. And I'm so thankful for her, because we really were able to be vulnerable together. And I was even vulnerable with her. That's been my friend for over 18 years. So even with her, I was able to be vulnerable in ways that I hadn't been vulnerable with my best friend before. So I'm so appreciative of our friendship and how it's grown. Um, y'all need to get y'all an Adrian, okay? Not mine. Get your own. Turquoise Majesty said, we appreciate you. I read too, and it takes a lot to give that energy in the midst of it all. Yes, I have been literally like, I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna go live. And I just was like, I don't know. It was like, I definitely wanted to connect with you guys, but I had to just kind of like pace myself and just kind of wait it out and process like everything that's been going on. You know, the financial hit that you take in staying in a hotel for like it's great, yes, you know, spend the night in away from home, you know, in a new environment. I love to travel, so that's always nice. But really, when you look at the reality of like eating out every day, not being able to eat how you really want to eat, as far as health wise, because I go from doing this detox to then having to eat fast food, you know. And so, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like I'm not gonna be eating a salad every day. That's just not how I'm built. Like we can eat some healthy food, but it ain't gonna be a salad every day. But you know, just the like just thinking of like, okay, we're pulling money from here, or this money is coming from here, or you know, just those unexpected expenses. You know, you save money and you prepare, but when that savings get looking real nice, you don't want to mess with that. You don't want to mess with that. But we have been we have been fortunate and blessed to be taken care of every step of the way. Um, Danielle says you're using snow to fill the tank to flush the toilet. Woo child, but we made it. What? Tell me about this using snow to fill the tank. You mean the toilet tank? Is that what you're saying? I don't have water at all at my house, okay? Like none. There's a pipe somewhere in my building that's burst. So we have no water at all. That's why I'm still at a hotel, which is all good. Which is all good. Um, that calm in the midst of the storm is some real peace. Yes, and that is exactly what I said to my friend. I was like, this was before it. I was like, you know, it's like we're standing in the middle of the calm of, you know, and the storm is happening around us. But as we stay in our purpose and we stay in alignment with our calling, you can be literally standing in the midst of the storm. I felt like that. Like I could just see like the chaos, the energetic chaos going on around me, you know. And there were some people you could see the panic because of how selfishly they behaved and acted with certain resources, you know. It was really beautiful though to see like community come together because somebody came and parked a big ass trailer um, in our neighborhood and just left firewood and, you know, left it for the community for people to just come and take firewood as they needed it because some people were stuck, you know. By noon on Monday, there were no hotels. And I'm talking about from where I live, which is not directly in Dallas. I live in Rockwall. So from Rockwall, about 20 to 30 miles out, no hotels, none. By like noon, no hotels at all available. So you're talking about people really having to sleep in their homes in the cold, you know, and it got so cold, y'all, that my toilet water froze. My toilet water froze. Like we left our pipes on drip, and the drip was like an icicle. It got so cold in there that all my plants died. All my fruit, like that I had left on the counter and stuff, my pineapples and stuff, my cantaloupes, like they all froze solid. And my toilet water froze. I ain't never seen nothing like that. And I'm from Florida. So this was crazy to me. This was crazy. I was excited to see snow, and then I was like, "Hold up, this come with a price." Yes, my toilet water was frozen. Um, Turquoise Majesty said, "Winter is an ideal time for shadow work. It surely is." Adrian said, "This is speaking to me." Hey, Ashley. Ashley, how you been holding up? Miss Jody said, "I'm grateful for being whole through this and for you sharing. Thank you so much for coming through." Um, we have to own it boldly. When you speak up, people will naturally start opening up. I agree with that. You don't know who needs to hear it. That's right. You have to speak your truth. You know, we have to stop being afraid to be vulnerable and stop being afraid to like be imperfect because we're all flawed. We're all imperfect. It's like we have bought in to the whole lie of having to present as these perfect individuals whose relationships are perfect and all together, whose lives are perfect and all together. And that's just Like, I'll be the first to tell y'all, like, no, you know, I have my spiritual business. My spiritual business ain't doing six figures yet. We manifesting it, but it's not doing six figures yet. Like, that's not everybody's story. And we have to be real about like the things that we are experiencing and going through, because you're not by yourself. You're not by yourself. So um it's not dishonoring our elders to uphold the truth. Yes, and to realize too that they didn't always have it all together. They didn't always have all the answers. They didn't always like get it right, and that's okay. That's okay. Our every generation is supposed to be better than the last. We're supposed to do better than the previous generation. We're supposed to perfect the whole craft of our bloodline. Okay, so it's okay to acknowledge that, okay, big mama or dad or mom didn't get it all the way right, and that's cool, because guess what, they were where we are right now. They were once there trying to figure their shit out, trying to heal, trying to evolve. Unfortunately for them, there weren't as many resources available, especially for Black parents and grandparents who were my great grandmother, who I had a relationship with, who my son had the privilege of meeting and knowing. Her father was a slave. So imagine the psychological trauma that she saw with her two eyes that was passed down to her children. Like, think about how many habits we just pass down to our kids. We don't even really think about it. We don't think of them as being problematic, or the things that our parents did that they didn't think was problematic. They just did it. That was just the way that they existed. So we have to correct that and perfect it. Okay. Um, we did that cleanse though. Yes, we did. How you doing, girl? Praying for you all. Thank you so much. Texas pulled together though. Yes, we definitely pulled through and pulled together. And Adrian said exactly. Kids are brought in to help open our eyes. Yes, they're here to teach us. They're here to help us to be better. And they carry lessons. You know, they carry lessons um, for us. And if we pay attention to our children, we can gain so much. I told my mom the other day, I was like, you know, your kids are here to teach you things. I'm here to teach you something. If you pay attention, if you want to learn. And she was like, girl, what you here to teach me? And we had like a really great conversation. But it's taken us so long to be able to even get there, you know. But I had to let her know, like, the same way my son is here to teach me something, to show me something, like, our children are here to show us things, to teach us things, to help us evolve. We have to be open to it though. I'm gonna read y'all a little excerpt for this card. So the final card that I'm pulling, and then, hey, from Australia. Hey, Alice. Welcome through, boo. This is Archangel Ramel, and the crystal is aragonite. All right. So I'm going to read you guys. I love this deck, this crystal mandala deck, because it always like speaks with perfect, bringing a perfect energy. We bring you the gift of rest, and that's the title of the card, Rest. And the crystal angel number on the bottom is 444. We bring you the gift of rest. We ask you to reflect on what you truly need. I asked y'all that at the beginning. Do you need a break for an hour or so? If not, or to relax and recharge? Or do you need to change your lifestyle to more regularly include rest so you can sustain your vitality, your sense of well being, and your creative energy? Do you need rest that's active, that helps you switch off your mind and come out of your head into your body? Do you need rest that's physically still, to deeply replenish your energy reserves at a deeper cellular level? Do you need mental rest to let go of worry and stress, or emotional rest to let go of an emotional roller coaster and into some simple acceptance and happiness for a time? Rest can happen in different ways and on different levels. We bring the gift of all types of rest and ask that you choose that which will feel best for you at this time. Okay? Being productive and getting results requires work. If you want to manifest big dreams or radical transformation, then that is probably going to require lots and lots of work. Without adequate rest along the way, you'll compromise your ability to go the distance, endure transformation, and continue to be a loving light on your planet for a long, long time. Modern culture is often afraid of surrender and finds it difficult to respect and trust in the wisdom of nature, which includes cycles of activity followed by cycles of rest, repeated over and over again with wondrous results. This fear can create suspension and judgment about rest, turning it into something we consider to be a sign of weakness rather than wisdom, or laziness rather than intelligence, a lack of productivity rather than a way to regenerate our creative energies. However, if you want to create and manifest big, beautiful, divine dreams in this world and continue to do so for the rest of your long, loving life, then you'll need to claim your right to rest. Make it sacred. Make it part of how you show love to your body, for the body that life is given to your spirit to use as it chooses this lifetime. Then your rest will be reverence. It'll be pleasurable. It will feel meaningful and easier to practice. In that ease, the regeneration, healing, and inspiration it can offer shall increase substantially. You'll get more in return on the investment of your time in restful revere. So, allowing ourselves to rest, even like I said, during that detox, I had to sometimes just take a nap and rest and allow my body to do what it needed to do, not only in like the cleansing process, but the healing and rejuvenation process. So that's what I have for you guys. I wanted to check in, see how y'all were doing. I'll be sharing some information in the upcoming week or so regarding my paid subscriptions that I'm going to be opening up. I'm going to be moving, my monthly readings and my retrograde readings to the subscription side. I'll still pop in on, Instagram to do some lives and stuff, but we're evolving. We're evolving over here. And there are some beautiful things on the horizon. May get a little uncomfortable, but if you come to it, you can get through it, right? You have to grow through it so you can glow at the end of the day. So let's see. This really spoke to me. Thank you. You are so welcome. If you guys want some readings, y'all want me to do a quick couple of card pulls, go ahead and just put your name down there in the heart, and I will do some pulls for you guys. Okay. And I appreciate y'all coming through. Those of you that have been here and just kind of stuck it out with me. I know I had a lot to say. There was a lot that Spirit wanted me to give to y'all today. So I just wanted to follow that and do what I was called to do today. All right. I'm going to give y'all a moment if you want a reading, make it known so we can wrap this up. Alice, Jody, all right, I got you. I got you. All right, so I'm going to start with Alice and then I got Jody. All right. And thank you guys for those of you that have sent donations. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. Danielle, I got you. What's up, Monica? Hey, Sue. All right, just pull up a few cards here. Provide me with a message for Jody. Again, if you guys want a quick little card pull, just put your name in a heart. I'm doing a few free readings tonight. Spirit, provide me with a clear message for Jody. Jody, I feel like you have, like, this has been kind of like a long time coming for you. I really feel like, you almost feel like, it's like you almost feel like you're not going to get the opportunity to celebrate a victory. You've been like waiting on something to kind of pop for you. And it's almost like you're on the edge of giving up, but you're going to get your opportunity to celebrate. This is kind of how the last leg of a marathon is, where it's like the hardest part of the run. You start off strong and it's like, yes, I got this, I got this. And then you realize, like, damn, this is a long race. This shit is long, but you haven't given up yet. I just feel like you're on the verge of giving up. And I want you to be encouraged, like, don't give up. Don't give up. you are, I think you're in a place where you need to start really kind of evaluating the whole process, tweak a few things, but don't give up. Don't give up. Set some new goals for yourself. Um, and I'm pulling like that energy of you wanting to give up, you feeling like you're not going to get to experience the harvest that you worked so hard to experience, but that's not the case. The Three of Cups comes up to signify that you will get an opportunity to celebrate some big things in your life. Whatever this thing is that you've been working so hard at, that you've been waiting on, I feel like it's an investment of some sort that you're waiting on a return from. But I feel like that thing is coming. Is you're just gonna have to exercise some patience, to be honest, and also tweak the plan. It doesn't ever hurt, excuse me, to revisit the drawing board and say, okay, this is working great. This is going, this part of the plan is working. It's like a well-oiled machine, but this kind of needs a little tweak. Let me kind of see if I do this a little differently. What kind of results do I get? Not saying scrap the whole plan, but just tweak it a little bit, okay? And then the Ace of Cups comes through. I feel like you've been really emotional about this, and you're, I think that you feel it. You feel like you're on the verge of that breakthrough, but it's kind of like that uncertainty. Like, I don't know, should I give up? Should I scrap this, call it quits, and count my losses? But no, I really truly feel like you're going to get the opportunity to celebrate a really beautiful win for yourself. So don't give up. Don't give up. Tweak the plan and apply the new methods. Test it out, pay close attention, trust your intuition. Let me tell you guys something. I trade stocks, right? And I trade stocks based on intuition. I don't know a whole lot about playing the stock market, but I have made some good money in the stock market. Okay, trust and believe me. I bought this one stock off of sheer, I always buy my stocks off of intuition. And it's really not a great, like, if I was a financial person, I probably wouldn't advise people to play off their intuition when it comes to the stock market, but it's all a gamble to me, right? I bought this one stock, AMD, back in 2013. It was like $4. Y'all go look up AMD, okay? I bought that stock off of intuition. I bought another stock off of intuition recently, and I've been making a lot of money off of that as well. So it's like trusting my intuition works for me. And when it comes to stocks, like, I know that feeling that I get when it's a good stock for me to buy, a good stock for me to invest in, and I trust myself. You have to be able to trust your intuition and trust yourself and trust your spirit and know, like, what that feels like when your spirit is like speaking to you and trying to show you something. Like, really get in tune with how that feels. I'm in tune with how that feels, so I know I can trust it, because it's worked for me. Emotional loss is the oracle card that comes up for you. I feel like this emotional loss is coming up because I don't know if you went into some sort of project or something with someone that you were close with or you were cool with, and for some reason, like, you guys have not really seen eye to eye because the mental conflict card is at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like there's like some kind of disagreement that you've been experiencing, and it's kind of putting you in a place where you almost feel like that relationship is kind of a wash. But I feel like, yeah, movement, choices, and decisions thing comes up, and I just kind of feel like you got to make the move that honestly is going to best serve you and best serve what you are trying to do. And if that doesn't align, then you might have to kind of cut your losses on that relationship. I'm not saying throw away the whole relationship, but just saying, like, sometimes just being honest and being clear about what it is that we need helps other people understand why we are making some of the decisions and choices that we make for ourselves. And it's to me, like, sometimes you have to choose yourself and you have to choose your happiness and your peace. And if what is going on with this relationship, with this friendship, I feel like it is, if what's going on is not in alignment with your original plan, then count your losses. All right. Moving on to Alice Jody. I hope that brought some clarity for you. Let me grab a little piece of paper so I can write y'all names down so I can kind of keep up with the comments. Hold on 1 second. All right. Alice is up next. I got Danielle. I got Shakima. I got Monica, Vanessa, Monet. Let's see. Vanessa, I got you on here. You're welcome. I already broke off that work relationship. All right. Well, hey, count your losses, child. Everybody can't go. Okay. Everybody can't go. All right. Up next, we have Alice. 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 And y'all confirm these messages. If I'm on the money, y'all need to come down here and say you on the money, sis. Okay. Thank you, Jody, for confirming that for me too, boo. So, Alice, I feel like something is impeding on your joy right now. I almost feel like it's you though. I feel like it's you. You impeding on your joy right now. Why are you holding yourself hostage? It's like you holding yourself at the mercy of some past situations, some past decisions. I can't take all these cards. Hold on. Just a little too many. Spirit provide me with a few cards to clarify this message. Monica said, "You always on the money." Jody said, "You always on the money." Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, Alice, what's going on, Alice? I need to start bringing y'all on here. Let me see. Let's talk. Where are you, Alice? Alice, come on in here. We're gonna do a live. We're gonna do a little different tonight. I'm waiting on Alice. We need to talk because I need to know what's going on. I feel like you need to tap into your inner divinity, sis. Like you need to tap into your inner high priestess. Okay, come on in the building. I'm not gonna bite. Alice decline. Alice, what's up? What's up? Don't be shy. You can come in here. We can talk. And I definitely y'all. If you're new, like I don't put people on blast like that, but I really, I want y'all to come through. You're shy. You don't have to pop on camera. Come in here though. We need to talk. I want to hear your voice. We need to talk. I feel like you are. I almost feel like there's some projection going on. Like I think that you really have to own your own your own things, your own issues, because there's some I feel like you want it to be some things outside of yourself that are kind of holding you back from your own happiness, from your own peace. But I really feel like sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. Sometimes we hold ourselves back. Sometimes we are the ones that are really allowing the things outside of us to like affect us or to impact us when we can choose not to accept those things. Read the four agreements. The four agreements really breaks down how like we make agreements with all of these different like situations, and we agree to really like co-sign whatever that negative voice or that negative energy might be saying to us. So we don't have to choose to accept like our fear, and how I talked about my anxiety a little bit ago. Like I have been choosing to allow my anxiety and my fear to take over and to drive. But when I speak to it, And when I tell it to take the back seat and sit down somewhere, or when I just tell it it has no place here, then it has no choice. Like I take over. I turn back into the pilot of my own life, of my own experience. So I feel like you really gotta just tap into your own divinity and know that you don't have to give way to the voice inside that comes in and usually comes in to derail the whole system. You know, it doesn't come in to support you and keep you safe. It comes in to derail things and to really scare you a lot of times out of your purpose, out of your happiness, out of your joy. So I'm going to encourage you to do some shadow work and really get in touch with your own inner divinity, your own intuition, your own that's Isis energy. So that's like the mother, your own. Sometimes we have to mother ourselves. So your own mothering energy to really like soothe and calm yourself and hold yourself. Sometimes physically, like literally holding yourself and really embracing yourself and allowing yourself to shed and cry and release and then build yourself back up. That's what I have for you. I don't feel like, you know, don't make your issues bigger than yourself. Don't make them bigger than what they really are. Okay. Um, I don't know if I even showed you your cards. Let me show you your cards. So your reading started off with the Nine of Cups in reverse. Nine of Cups is about happiness. It's about peace, um, satisfaction. Then we had the devil card in reverse. I just feel like if you just turn off that voice, if you speak back to it, you can take your authority back. And then you had the nine of swords that came up upright, signifying that it's almost like you're at the mercy of something, you know. And I think the thing that you're at the mercy with is the thing that you're at the mercy with is like your own fear and anxiety right now. Okay, so take control. And again, tap into that inner divinity. Do that shadow work so that you can move past this energy that you're feeling. I'm going to pull up an oracle card for you. Don't ever feel like you need to be shy. Um, Danielle, I'm finna pull you in too, okay? So if y'all ain't got y'all wigs on, go ahead and put y'all wig on so y'all can come on camera or y'all can point it at the ceiling. But I want to hear, I want to hear y'all voice. We need to talk. Okay, that's how we're doing this tonight. I'm gonna see Monica in here, so I know y'all cutting up in the comments. We're gonna see what Monica talking about. And Monica be over here cutting up every time she come through. You don't have your lashes on. Nothing. I have my lashes on either. Look, I had this wig on. It's not even glued down, child. If I took this hat off, please cut it out. Cut it out. Prosperity begins. Alice, once you quiet that anxiety, you will be able to tap in again to that inner divinity. And after that, once you tap into who the fuck you really are on the inside, follow followed by that energy comes prosperity. It comes like you being able to really allow yourself to see the fruits of your labor, allow yourself to partake in the beauty, you know, of who you are. Okay. Let me check these comments real quick and see what y'all talking about. Alice, take the gift, girl. Oh, you requested. Here we go. Let me bring Alice in. Come on in, Alice, if you're still in the room. Let me see. Hey, boo.
Hi.
Don't be
I still have
shy. Don't be shy. You're hey boo. Hi.
oh,
She ain't with it. So did that message resonate with you at all?
yes, it did. Thank you so
You
much.
are welcome. You never have to feel shy, girl, to come in here. It's all
I just
love.
thought
This is
it
a
was
safe
cool.
space. Girl, it's okay. I threw this hat on because this wig is not glued down, okay? So don't worry about it. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. So allow yourself, like I said, to do some shadow work, and don't hide from yourself. Don't hide from yourself. You have some gifts that you really need to tap into. Like there's some things that you already are fully aware of. I almost feel like it's some things that you started, but for some reason you kind of pulled back from. Maybe you put them down, maybe other distractions, other things, life, how life happens. But you need to pick those things back up because there are some little seeds that just need your attention and need your love, and they'll sprout. They'll sprout in a major way for you. All right. Thanks for putting your shyness to the side and coming through.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. You are so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. Take care, boo.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. So who is up next? I have Danielle. Hold on. I don't know how to let Alice go. Let's see. All right. Hold on, y'all, because I don't know what I'm doing with this. Uh, okay. I don't. Can y'all still see me? Did I just mess that up? Okay. Let me see. Who's next? Danielle. Okay. There we go. Listen, when we done, can y'all leave the thing? Because I don't know how to dismiss y'all. So, all right, Danielle, come on through. Come to the altar. Come to the altar. Come to the front of the building.
Hello.
Hi. What's up? This is my twin right here. It's my birthday twin. What's up? How you holding up?
We doing all right. We're in a hotel because we had a water leak in the apartment when they finally turned the water on, but we're good.
You're good? All right. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear my Texans are doing all right, that you guys have been pushing through. And thank you for posting the resources that you've been posting. I've been seeing them. So I'll be sharing them with anybody that may be in need of some resources as I see them. If y'all DM me and let me know, I'll keep my eye out and then I'll send you guys whatever I see, whatever I come across. But let me pull a few cards for you. Pull a few cards for Danielle. Okay. We're starting out with the sun card. We're starting out with the sun card. So that's immediate success. That's like the first card is the amplified message, immediate success. I also feel like there's going to be some there's going to be some things that some truth that comes to light is kind of what I'm hearing, because then we have the justice card that comes up. So we start with the sun card, we then have, I'm sorry, the judgment card. But I feel like there's going to be a balancing of the scales in a sense, and some things that are coming to light, some truths that are coming to light that have been in the shadows for a while. You also got that high priestess energy that came up as well. So it's like continue to trust your own trust your intuition. I feel like you've been tapping in with your intuition really well lately. Do you feel like you have kind of grown in your ability to trust yourself?
Yeah. So at one point, it was kind of blocked. Spirit would try to tell me things, but it was just kind of muddled. But lately, it's been very clear. Yeah. Very clear of what needs to be done, what you need to do, how you need to do it. Now, still kind of in a hard-headed process, so I'm not always listening like I need to.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. That's that page of swords is saying like, don't be so quick to react. Look, and I need to look in the mirror while I say this, because that's me. That's completely me. Like, don't be so quick to react and be defensive. Some is saying like kind of take a pause, and also not taking things personally. And that was something that definitely during this retrograde, like that was one of the first things that came up for me, like don't take things personally, don't take things personally, don't take things personally. And I've really been working on that, because I tell you all the time, like I'm a Scorpio sun, I'm an Aries rising, like it is in me to jump like quickly, to conclusions, on conclusions, around conclusions, in people face with conclusions, like jump. That's the energy that I carry. But I've really been like working on not being so quick to jump to conclusions. So it's like, take your time, pace yourself, and know that also everything doesn't deserve a reaction. It can be challenging, I understand, but that's what I'm receiving. But success is yours. Like that's the leading card. That's the beginning of the message. So it's really like the energy I'm feeling is that whatever it is that you want to do, just do it. Do it. It's my camera, me, Adrian. Who are you talking about? I can't. Can you hear me? Okay, I lost her. I'm gonna pull her oracle card, and then Adrian, who you were talking about, me or Danielle? Me. Oh, yeah. When they come on, I can't do anything. Like I'm on the iPad and I don't have anything to prop it up with, so it's just kind of what it is. Patience. Patience is the oracle card. So again, like I said just a moment ago, Danielle, not jumping to conclusions and just being patient and allowing things to reveal themselves to you. Because sometimes you'll find that, excuse me, if you just allow yourself a moment to really take in everything that's going on, you'll see things a little bit differently. How you first see them and how like things kind of come when things finally come into focus, how they appear once they come into like true focus is going to be totally different. So take your time, be patient, and allow things to kind of play out for you. Okay. Who is next? I have Shakima. Shakima, you still in here? Shakima, make a comment real quick if you down in here so I can pull you up. Again, I'm doing some free readings tonight. So if you guys want a reading, just put your name in a heart. I have a list going on right now. I got Shakima, then I got Monica, Vanessa, and Monet. All right. So if you want a reading, put your name in a heart, your first name in a heart. Y'all give me your first name because I want to tap into the energy of like who you are. So I need your first name. Okay. Y'all don't have to put your date of birth or anything, but I do want real first names. Right. Shakima, where you at? Is that you? She Evolve? I'm sorry. I was about to say She Love. Well, I'm a little dyslexic, y'all. Don't mind me. This is the first for me. My daughter said, do it, mommy. Yes, come through. Come through. I'm about to pull you in here, okay? Let's see. And I'm going to try to move this back so maybe my head don't get so cut off. Where are you? Danielle said, thanks, sis. On point. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, boo. How are you?
I'm okay.
How have you been feeling with all this retrograde and all of this energy that's been floating around in 2021? 2020 was rough, but 2021 was like, I'm not playing with y'all either. So,
Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm to be honest, this is like I saw you go live and I was like, oh, I followed that page. Let me see, what they're talking about. And I love your energy, but
thank
I
you.
didn't know, what you were about. So when I say like this is my first time, like for real, like I didn't know what to expect. And my daughter is sitting here like, do it, mom. I'll be watching these and they're not all bad, so I just was like, okay.
Well, what was your reservation?
Nervous.
Just
like,
about card readings?
yeah, I thought they was a little like,
That's what I thought too until I started doing them.
oh my God.
That's what I thought too. But you know what? I know a lot of people, like when I came from the church, right? So when I first started getting into tarot, I did not really understand that even in the Bible, and I like to tell, and I don't know that you're Christian or religious at all, but
I
I'm
am. I'm a
okay.
Christian, so
All
I
right.
was a little like,
I understand. My dad's a minister, so trust me, this is not exactly like this is not exactly the spiritual job that my parents thought I was going to do, but I think that they're coming to an understanding of like who I am and my calling. And what a lot of people, a lot of Christians don't realize is that one, they used to cast lots. If you pay attention to the Bible, when they say cast lots, what they did, they were doing divination. They were using like runes and stones and different things to get messages from spirit, from God, from the Holy
oh,
Spirit. So when you see in the Bible in the book of Mark and you see them talk about casting lots, understand that this is what they were doing. Maybe not with cards, but they were still
uh-huh,
doing divination to get messages from spirit. So there's nothing, and that's what spiritual bestie is about. I'm here to take the spookism out of non-religious spirituality. This is a place, a safe space for everyone, as long as you allow it to be a safe space. So
uh-huh.
I'm here to take the spookism out of all of that. Um, let's get
That's
into your
good to
cards.
know because when you pulled that death card for that girl, I was like, oh no, I was about to X out. If I would have was like, no, you gotta listen to what she's
Yes.
saying, and that's not what it means. And I was like, okay.
Shout out to the children again, teaching the parents. Our children are here to teach us things. We're here to teach our parents things. We're here to learn things from one another. We can't silence the mouths of our children because a lot of time wisdom comes out of their mouths. And if you pay attention, they'll open you up to some things that will change your perspective, and how you look at things. And once we open ourselves up and we take the barriers off of how we receive the messages from God, from divine, however you entitle that energy source, the creator of all things. When we
Uh-huh.
when we allow ourselves to remove those barriers, we open ourselves up to be able to receive a message any way that spirit decides to reach us, to speak to us. And that's where the magic happens, because when you are looking for God everywhere and not just in church, or not just from a sign that you're familiar with, but you're really looking for God in every experience and every interaction, you're going to see that you're able to connect deeper and more truthfully with God, because you
Uh-huh.
recognize Him in the small things, in the little things. And we don't take those things for granted. So, just a little bit. I'm so glad that you're here, though. You got the page of staffs, okay? The page of staffs comes through, and comes through with opportunity. I almost feel like there's a new opportunity, and it's amplified. The message is confirmed with the Ace of Coins, which also represents opportunity. It represents manifestation. A lot of times the coins come through as a manifestation of money, but sometimes it can also mean like it can also represent an opportunity presented to us by our own like hands, work that we do, skills that we have, that we put to use. So you have these two cards coming together representing like prosperity and opportunity. Good luck is somewhat call it, but I don't call it luck, I call it advancement. Okay, we then have the Four of Swords in reverse. I almost feel like don't scare the energy, don't scare the money by like being too anxious for it. Sometimes when we really want something to happen, it's like we disrupt the energy, because we disrupt the flow, because our energy comes with all this static, and it's like I want this to happen right now, and this is how our energy is. But the flow is like this, and when we're
Okay.
like this, we're disrupting the flow. If I take a water bottle and I just pour it, like the water flows smoothly, right? But if I'm just
Uh-huh.
shaking it like this, then the water is just popping out however it can come through. So we want to allow the flow to be smooth. We want to relax our dramatic grip off of the finances. We want to relax our dramatic grip off of what's happening next, how things are going to come together, how things are going to work out. If you trust and believe, um, if you really trust and believe in God, you have to trust that God is going to guide you exactly where you need to go. And in every moment, you're going to be taken care of. But also trust that you have the skills necessary to carry yourself there. Sometimes we rely on spirit and we expect spirit to just provide. I use God and spirit interchangeably, but I mean the same thing. Sometimes we expect spirit to provide for us, and we're waiting, but we're not doing anything. We're not assisting, you know, that thing to happen in our lives. We're waiting. We're sitting and we're just waiting. And we're like, I'm waiting on God. I'm just waiting on God. But you're not doing anything. So the message that I'm receiving is that there is work for you to do. And once you tap in and get in connection with the voice on the inside that's leading you, and you follow that direction, you'll be able to relax your grip. You'll be able to really come into a place of rest, you know, really come into a place where you can allow the flow to come to you. All right. I also get the sense from your final card that there is, I almost feel like there is like a teacher or an elder, somebody that you're supposed to be learning something up under, maybe to enhance your skills. Maybe you've been considering taking a little course, or there's somebody that may be in an arena of a skill set that you have that you've just been kind of watching, and you've been thinking about maybe going to another level with like your learn education on the skill set and your practice. Does that resonate at all with you?
Yes, it does.
All
This
right.
is mind blowing.
So you need to tap into that. You need to move forward and invest in yourself. You know, invest in yourself. Make sure you do your due diligence, because especially online on social media, like there's a lot of frauds. But
Yes, it
just,
is.
you know, just tap in, make sure like you do your due diligence and make an investment in yourself. Okay. I'm gonna pull an oracle
Yeah.
card for you, and we'll be done. I'm gonna move on. Monica, you up next. So get your lashes together, girl. Okay. All right. Let's pull an oracle card for you. That
What's
wasn't
an
so bad. Was
oracle?
so these are tarot cards that have the different, you know, suits on them, like the King of Cups or the Knight of Swords. But the oracle cards, they may have a word. Some of the ones that I pulled, they're different ones, but they're not the tarot. So the tarot is like the standard divination deck that kind of is like the first set of divination decks that were used were the tarot. So they are like the foundation of um, card divination, so to speak, when it comes to
Oh,
like this form. But oracle cards are cards that may have a word or a picture or just a message. So I like to end my messages with an oracle card.
okay.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
No, it was actually confirmation of all of the things that I know that I need to do and how I need to go about doing them, but not second guessing myself, but just trying my best to make sure that those are the things that I'm supposed to do. Because there's nothing like wasted money, and there's nothing worse than wasted time. And I feel like I've done so much of that. I don't want to keep doing that. So now everything is like, all right, I need like 5 confirmations, you know?
Yeah, and understand that mistakes are part of the process. You know, trust the mistakes that you made, because when we bump our head, especially if we bump it hard enough, we don't make the same mistake twice. Take the wisdom from those previous experiences and mistakes. How did you go wrong previously? You know, so that you don't have to feel like you have to keep holding that over your own head and second guessing yourself and second guessing like your own judgment, because that interferes with the flow of you know, of the messages that come through to lead us. Like we have to sometimes jump and allow ourselves to, like I was saying a few minutes ago, I don't know if you were in here at that point, but when I when I buy stocks and I play the stock market, like I've learned to just trust that little feeling that I get on the inside that tells me like
Uh-huh.
this is right, you know, this is right, ride it out. Um, you got memories of love, memories of love. I don't know if there's some lingering something coming through memories of love. I asked for clarification on that, And the cards that came up was firm foundation. So that's again root chakra, getting in tune with your root chakra. Do some root chakra work and balance that root chakra energy out, because that's where that fear and that anxiety lives. It exists when we feel unstable in our foundation, when we feel also when we feel like we can't trust ourselves, or we're having a hard time trusting ourselves, like tapping into that crown chakra energy and balancing out our crown chakras and doing some meditation. I don't know if you meditate, but you can go right on YouTube and find some root chakra meditations, some guided meditations, and you can find some good crown chakra meditations. So I encourage you to do that, as well. And then you had the card of balance, the card of balance that's saying like, make sure that you keep things balanced in your life, and you're not going so hard and putting all your energy and all your money and all your resources into this thing to speed up the process, but really trusting the process and allowing yourself to grow as this thing within you grows. We don't plant a seed and then the next day we go outside and we have an apple tree. We have to allow that seed to germinate and take form and sprout, and then grow a bark and really strengthen. Its roots have to get strengthened, and it's a process. So with social media, a lot of times we get caught up in like quick progression, and we get caught up in seeing things happen like that, because well, we saw this person and then they popped up and suddenly they had a Bentley, or they look like they had it all together, and that's really not how the process works. So we have to allow ourselves to kind of really take our time and go through all the ups and downs of the growth process. All right. Memories
Okay.
of love. Memories of love. Is there somebody you've been thinking about from your past that maybe you've been considering entertaining, or y'all been talking? Or has there been something like that going on? So I'm not really sure what this memories of love is.
No.
Spirit, clarify that for me, because I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Because I'm in a relationship. I've been in it for 3 years.
Does
I
it feel
don't.
stagnant, or what's going on?
Um. Why are you laughing? My daughter's laughing. It's not stagnant, but it just be happening, and I'll be like thinking about it low key.
Is it not what it, I mean, do you feel like it's not what it used to be? I'm trying to figure out where this
Um.
energy of memories of love is coming up. Is sometimes our relationships can get a little bit like that. Okay, they can get a little bit like, you know like how it used to be. You know what I'm saying? How the beginning was, that vibrancy, that fire, that connection that we seem to have in the beginning. Like sometimes just because as time goes by we get comfortable, we get relaxed, we don't do the things that we used to do. And so sometimes it feels like, not like the relationship is dying, but just like we need to revive it, right? we need to
Right.
we need to kind of like make a little conscious effort. We might need to take a little weekend getaway and really spend some time talking and laughing and just being silly, not being so serious. So I feel like that's the connection to this energy. I was like, what is this? What is this? Memories of love. Is somebody from the past coming through? But thanks for clarifying that. And yeah, it is clarifying because both of these cards have the six on them. So it's memories of love, and it's like you're wanting your relationship to kind of regain that spark, but you gotta ignite it as well. And then, again, like I said earlier, we have to. Then you got the light. Light that bitch back up, sis. Okay, light it back up. Don't, hey, do what you used to do too in the beginning. You want him to come back how he used to come through. You need to come through how you used to come through. Okay, switch it
Got
up
you.
on him. Switch it up
Got
on him.
you.
But
Thank you so much. This was like enlightening.
you are
Thank
so
you so much.
welcome.
That's
Thanks,
my
little queen, for telling her to come through. Okay,
yes.
keep pointing your mama in the right direction. All right, and pay
Thank
attention
you
to your
so.
daughter. She is tapped in, so pay attention to her.
She is tapped in.
Yes. All
Thank you
right,
so much. I
queen. You are so
appreciate it.
welcome. Y'all have a good night. Be
You
safe.
too.
Monica, you are up. You are on deck, Monica. What's up, guys? Welcome in. If y'all want a reading, put your name in a heart. I am doing free readings tonight. I am going to pin my cash app if y'all want to make a donation, but you can get a reading for free tonight. All right. And I do welcome donations if y'all want to support me. If y'all want to book a private session, I don't know what my book's looking like, but feel free to check it out. Okay. Y'all also get on my mailing list because there are going to be some things changing with Spiritual Bestie, and I want you guys to be a part of that. All right. We are building a community outside of social media. Okay. So I want you guys to be a part of it. All right. Who is next? Monica, come on down. Come on down, Monica. All right. Jonelle, I'm adding you to the list. De'Erica, I got you. And I'm going to cut off when Spirit tell me to cut off. Okay. So y'all don't be shy. Put y'all wigs on or whatever. Y'all don't have to even have no hair on y'all head. Come on through. Okay. Come on, Monica. Monica, don't come in here cutting up either. Don't come in here cutting up.
What? I cook. I have to put a hat on because my nails, my hair ain't done.
That's
I didn't
okay.
have time for lashes.
That's okay.
This is what you get.
That's
Okay, give it to
okay.
you
And you
all.
still beautiful. What?
Thank
Y'all
you.
get some
I
hearts
know.
for Monica. Y'all get some
I
hearts for
know.
Monica.
I
Let her know
know.
how beautiful she is. All
I
right.
try.
What's up, Stella? Done got your groove back.
No. Kinda. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's see. What is the message, Spirit? Spirit, provide whatever message you need Monica to hear in this moment. What's going on, Monica? How you been? How you been holding up? I know you out here in
I'm,
Texas as well. So what's going on? How you guys been?
I'm good. My son just lost power again, so
What?
yeah, they lost power out of nowhere. So
Where is
he's just
he?
like,
Is he in Dallas?
we no, we're in Austin.
He's in Austin too? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hey ladies,
Okay.
talk to me.
Well,
Cheyenne, get off of here. Oh, my niece is on here.
so we got the Page of Cups that starts your reading, and it's showing you an opportunity, a new opportunity. And I feel like, since we're talking about love, you and I have been kind of chatting about this a little bit behind the scenes. And I just feel like, I feel like you're in a situation that's very balanced. We got the Justice card to come in, but the energy that stood out to me was how balanced it is. I feel like, this is something really new for you too. It's like something you ain't never really quite experienced. Does that resonate? Does that feel true to you?
Yeah,
We ain't
making me
talk
scratch.
and we ain't talk this deeply, y'all. So I'm not reaching. Like I'm pulling for this message. And I feel like this is the hesitation. Your past, previous heartache and heartbreak. But you're gonna have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You're gonna have to allow yourself to be open. I've been talking about this tonight. Like, speak your truth. Let him know like what you are what you're working against. Because if you don't let him know, how will he know how to be there for you through this process? See, when we're ready to heal, when it comes to love, like, Spirit will still send us somebody that will help us through the process. That's what happened. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. Like, I was in the midst of my healing process, because healing is continual. Okay. There are still some things that come up from past situations that I have to face and deal with. And thankfully, like, when I got into my relationship, I was really open about those things. I was like, I'm going to do this different. I'm not going to hide, my experiences. I'm not going to try to, like, hold all my cards to my chest and see what he playing. And, I'm going to play that spade off of his spade. No, like, I came with all honesty and was just like, this is who I am. And then I watched what he did with that. So you're going to have to, like, open up. You're going to have to open up, share those past things, share why you have such a hard time trusting, why you have such a hard time letting your guard down. And then, not doing so, are you willing to risk your happiness by staying closed up, by staying in your shell, by not allowing him to love you whole and love you completely? Let's get an
You're
oracle
making me,
card.
You're making me itch. Oh, jeez. I hate when you be on point because I be trying not to do this with you.
You make you itch.
Yes, it's got me scratching, like, cuz.
That's what I like to hear.
I be trying to test him with stuff, but he still keep popping back up. He won't go nowhere.
That's because he sees past. This man is tapped in. He is very wise. He see past your stuff. He see past that. He done been through some things too, and that's how he knows. He recognizes those war wounds. He recognizes your war wounds. So
he called me on my bullshit too every time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this man is very well read. Okay, he can see game a mile away. You see this? Look, this man got a bald spine and everything. That's wisdom right there. When you done lost some hair behind some shit. Okay, but he sees you. He sees you. He sees you. Okay, he sees you. So you need to allow him, and he's wise. He's wise. This is not. I don't get I get the sense that he wants to love you. He wants to love you.
You know what? Something he told me the other day. He said, "If you let me, I would love you." And I was like, "What does that even mean?"
It means don't go 10 in reverse. Don't go 10 of coins in reverse.
Okay. I mean, he literally said, "I would love you if you let me, and are you open to love?" Those are the two questions he asked me. And I was like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?"
You know what he's talking about. Stop playing.
I know, but...
Suffering in silence. I want to pull one more card. Again, you need to let him into your story. You need to let him into your experience and allow him to see you for who you are fully in your own vulnerability. Okay, you need to allow him to see you for who you are and all the experiences that have shaped you, so he can understand. When I was able to tell my man the secret that I never told anybody, that I just always kept to myself, um, that was painful for me to expose, like, that's when I knew how he received it. That's when I knew, like, that this was something, that we had something. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't suffer in silence. Like, allow somebody to love you so that they can help you work through your issues, so they can help you work through your wounds. It's scary at first, but now he can't get me to shut up. I tell him, like, I be like, I know you're tired of me talking, but but let him love you through that. Okay?
That is deep.
You deserve it. You deserve it. Y'all deserve, we deserve to be loved. We deserve to be received for who we are completely, not a facade, not a filter that we put on, not the fake smile that we wear, or the yes when really we mean no. We deserve to have somebody that accepts us and will work through those things with us. Okay? That'll call us on our bullshit. You got him right there in front of you. You was asking me about love last year. Okay, here he is.
That's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Don't get scared now. Don't get scared now. He done showed up. I told you he was coming.
It's not fair. How you do this to me? You ain't even playing music tonight, and you still coming through with all the words.
This is for Monica. Y'all right, I ain't playing no music. I'm gonna take me a little intermission. I got Vanessa up next. Bye, Monica. Love you.
Wait, I didn't get no oracle card?
I did. I gave you these.
That's how it was. Okay, well, I had fun. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
I'll see y'all on the side. Bye. Oh, let me get out here for you.
I got you. All All right, y'all. Let me get some water. Okay. I'm gonna start this over. Y'all want to read him? Name, put your name in a heart, and I got you. Let's read some comments. Hey, Shane. Hey, Pastor Fleming, what's up? Come through. All right, so I got Vanessa, Monet, Jonelle, Vierica. Anybody else on here for a reading? Jane O Love, I'll see you later, boo. Podcast Bay says she is wet. She with her love right now. I know that's right. Nyla, I got you on my list. I got you. I don't have my speaker, we on the clock. Monet, I got Vanessa, and then you're up next. Okay, and if you miss it, hopefully the live will save. That's my plan. That's my intention. So if you miss it, then just come through and rewatch it. Okay. I'm gonna try to pull you in though. After I do Vanessa. All right. Vanessa, come on through. Come comment, Vanessa, so I can bring you in. All right. What's up, love? Hey, Vanessa, how are you?
Hi.
Hi. All right, let me pull some cards for Vanessa. Vanessa, you hot? Yeah.
Yes.
Girl, you put your wig on.
No, I just put my hat on.
I have my wigs laid out. My fiance was like pushing my wigs to the side, like, bruh, don't touch my wigs, okay? All right. Are you feel like have you been feeling like extra emotional lately or something?
During this Mercury retrograde, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been on and off.
Okay, I'm seeing that. I almost feel like you need to kind of take some time and unplug. I think is there like a lot going on around you? Just seem like so many things are happening at one time around you in your own personal life. Because I feel like they're talk to me, baby.
I don't think, I think there's a lot going around, but I'm not allowing, like, I'm just coasting.
You're posting.
Like,
Okay.
I'm really trying to have a light touch on stuff. If I can't control it, I just let it be there.
Okay. You have your reading starts with the Ace of Cups. That represents our feelings, our emotions, also our intuition as well. So I feel like there's like a heightened, kind of been a heightened sense of maybe your connection with your own self, but also some emotions that are coming up. Not a bad thing, you know, just sometimes getting in tune with our emotions is is what we need, you know, and that's
Yeah.
progress for us when we are feeling more in tune with our own emotions and really like you said, even though a lot of stuff is going on around us, how I said earlier, like, you know, my anxiety will try to flare up, but at the same time when I speak to it and calm it down, like I take control, I take the reins back, you know, I'm in the driver's seat. So it's like really balancing out those emotions. You also had the hermit card that came up in reverse, and that's where I'm feeling kind of maybe like you like unplug a little bit, because there may be some messages that you're supposed to receive, and sometimes when we just unplug, the messages come in, but they also come in very clear and very sharp, you know, very vibrant. You know, they'll come in a dream, and then a piece of that confirmation will come in maybe some angel numbers we see, and then maybe a piece of confirmation will come in a conversation that we have with a friend of ours. You know, so just kind of stepping back and unplugging a little bit so that you
Well, I
can.
have been getting a lot of lucid, vivid dreams.
Mhm.
And this time it's been like specific numbers, angel numbers. I have been writing them down.
Mhm.
I haven't able to connect the dots yet, but like I've never had dreams where they were so specific. And I don't know, like I even told my friend the other day, I felt like I was sometimes like astral traveling for the first time.
Oh yes,
Yeah, so yeah, my dreams have been on 10 lately.
I understand. I understand. Um, Definitely keep track of your dreams, because
Mhm.
sometimes when we dream lucidly, we don't get the answer like right away.
Right.
It's a seed that's planted. You know, the seed of the message is planted, and then it makes
Mhm.
sense down the line, because then it's like, oh shoot, that's what that meant.
Mhm.
That's what was being told to me. You know, so you know, just write them down and sometimes periodically revisit them to see if they make more sense. Um, or you can talk to somebody that's really strong in dream interpretation. That's not necessarily my field of expertise. I can interpret some dreams, but you know, there are some deeper meanings and symbols sometimes that come up in our dreams that people that really study dreams like that
Mhm.
can expose to you. You then have the justice card that came up upright, and I almost feel like you're bringing a greater sense of balance to your own life. I feel
Mhm.
like, you know, you're on this journey, but I feel like you've almost crossed this threshold. You see these pillars, it's like a entry of a new portal that you kind of entered in, where things in your life are a lot more balanced, and that's bringing you a lot more peace. Where there was previously where you did not recognize and realize your own strength, I feel like now you're starting to recognize and realize like your own divinity, your own strength, and your own ability to actually be the alchemist in your own life, where you can turn the tides for yourself and you're not waiting on somebody to come in and rescue you.
Mhm.
So let me pull an oracle card for you. I think overall the message is just speaking to like your journey as where you are right now, and I feel like that may be what's bringing about some of that emotion, because you
Mhm.
can look back on where you are and where you've come from and really recognize your growth and the progress
Yeah.
that you made, and the hard work. Like, give yourself credit and pat yourself on the back, because your hard work on yourself is paying off. Once we do that, once we are able to get control of our own emotions and know how to check our ego, and we're doing that constant shadow work and that healing, you know, and taking breaks when necessary, but really like doing that focused energy work on our own selves, we're able to attract the things that we really want to see in our lives without even thinking hard about it.
Mhm.
That spiritual alchemy. Are you in a relationship?
Uh, no.
Are you in a situationship? The way you answered, I was like, hold on. So you got spiritual union, spiritual union, and one of the cards that flipped over. Let me see if I see it. Was a card that just came up for Monica, but it was like the harmony card. I saw it kind of it showed itself to me as I was shuffling these cards. But also, the message is choose wisely. Choose wisely.
Mm,
If you really want that divine partnership, you're going to have to be more selective about who you entertain and who you
right.
allow in your space and in your bed. Okay? Because sex is not just sex, it's a connection.
Mm-hmm.
It is us receiving somebody else's energy as women, and as men, it's them giving their energy. Okay? So choose wisely, be very selective. And yes, the droughts be real and they be hard to ride out. I understand. But um it's really important that you choose wisely. That's coming up very strongly for you right now. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for coming through. Did that
Thank you.
message resonate with you?
It did.
All
Thank
right, good.
you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
All
Bye.
right, bye. All right. Let me see who's next. All right, Monet, you still in here? Monet, you still in here? If you're in here, Monet, go ahead and comment down below so I can pin you, so I can bring you in. If you guys want to read, I am doing some free readings tonight.
On the border really
All
brings
right,
it with the
so Monet, let me know if you're in here, boo, so I can pull you in. If not, I'm gonna move on to Jonelle. Jonelle, you still in here? Jonelle. Okay, so no Monet, no Jonelle. Dearica, you still in here? He is not trying to go outside. You on the clock? You okay? All right. So I can still pull for you, Monet. I can still pull for you. Okay. All right. All right. So let me pull for Monet, and then I got you, Janelle. You next. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna pull for Monet. Monet is on the clock. Monet in there getting her coins. Okay. She's getting her coins. I got you, I promise. I promise. No problem. You are so welcome, boo. I got you. All right, now, Monet, I'm be asking you questions, so be quick with the computer fingers, okay? Are you? I feel like you like a real hustler. I get that hustler energy off of you, and I feel like some things are about to rapidly be taking place in your life for you. Spirit, confirm and clarify what these things might be. But the reason I say that is the reading starts with the chariot card. That's like the chariot card is about like a clear path, rapid pace. It's like swift moving. It's not slow energy at all. We got the chariot and then we got the eight of wands that comes through. Those are like the two fastest moving cards in the deck. So I feel like you like trying to you working on something that you're trying to make happen. And the Ten of Cups comes in, satisfaction and contentment. I feel like whatever it is that you're working on, that you hustling so hard for, is definitely gonna come. It ain't gonna have no choice because of the level of hustle that you putting in right now. Does that resonate? Give me some hearts if that resonates for you. Spirit, provide me with the rest of this message for her, please. Does that make sense for you, Monet? These cards ain't trying to really pop out though. Then you have the Seven of Staffs, right? The Seven of Staffs kind of represents that this has not been an easy Um, this hasn't been coming easy at all. I feel like it's been a lot of struggle. It's been a lot of sacrifice. But at the end of the day, you're going to see that all the sacrifice that you have been putting in is going to pay off. It's going to pay off. And in a major way. You then had the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups. But the Queen of Cups comes through and she came in reverse. So what I'm receiving from this is like you have to one trust yourself and trust your own process and trust your plan, because I feel like you kind of like sat down and you was like, I'm gonna do this for this amount of time, I'm gonna do it like this, and this is my end game, like this is my goal. But I feel like you need to trust yourself, and what I'm feeling is that you need to trust your body and rest and allowing your body to rest when it needs to. I almost feel like you've been going so hard, you ain't really been entertaining nothing else, and you got that tunnel vision. But don't forget to allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to have some moments of downtime, have some moments to kind of like recuperate. And how I spoke earlier when I did just kind of like a general reading, when I pulled the cards, and I talked about rest, like our body needs rest on a cellular level, you know. So don't forget to allow yourself to experience rest and rejuvenation. Okay, I'm gonna pull an oracle card for you, but whatever it is you're going for, girl, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have it. And during this time period, also make sure you educate yourself on how to maintain that thing that you've been hustling so hard for. Because sometimes, as hard as it is, the easy part is getting it. The challenging part can be maintaining it. Okay, so make sure that you educate yourself on how to maintain whatever it is that you're working so hard for, so that you're not putting all of your work in for it to fall apart because you don't know how to maintain it. Okay, you have your oracle card is partnerships and alliances. Definitely utilize the people around you that have education and whatever it is that this thing is. Like, utilize the people around you that have a deeper knowledge of this process. I almost feel like, is this buying a house? Is this a house that you're hustling for? Or let me know. But partnerships and alliance, like, learn from the people around you, learn from the mistakes that they made. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable enough to say, like, I don't know this, so I need some information, and get that information. But partnerships and alliances is what came up. All right. I hope that that message brought some clarity and gave you the message that she said I needed to hear this. You're right. Educating yourself on what you're working so hard for is important. It is very important. But let me know, is this a house? Thanks a million for this reading. Definitely resonated. You are so welcome. All right. So next up, I have Jonelle. 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 Where are you, boo? Turquoise Majesty, I got you, but put your first name down there, boo. All right. Let me see. Where you at, Jonelle? I just saw your name. Trying to find you. There you go. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for waiting so patiently.
No problem.
All right, and thank you for your donation, boo. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. Spirit, provide me with a message for Jonelle. All right, after Nyla, I'll take one more person. It's not after Turquoise Majesty, make sure you put your first name down there. And after, okay, Shakita. After Shakita, I'll take one more person, and then I'm about to be done for the night. Hmm. Did you just recently like endure some kind of like, call them tower moments, where it's like either a crisis or something really dramatic happening in your life?
Um, I don't know. I'm taking care of my dad now. That's a shift.
I feel like it's something else emotion. Has this been emotional for you? Because I'm feeling like whatever this is has been really like emotionally disruptive for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's almost like you're mothering him right now.
Mhm.
We got the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like, the Queen of Pentacles represents prosperity, wealth, security. She's very root chakra, comfort. And I feel like, your father coming in is kind of disrupting that. Not that you don't want to do it, but it's still, I mean, if we're honest, it's not the most comfortable situation for you right now.
Right.
But I also feel like this moment is very necessary for him in some way, not just in the way that like we look at it on the surface level, as in he's in your home, you're helping to take care of him. But I think on an emotional level, this is very necessary for him. This is very important for him. Um, and I feel like it's going to be a thing that really kind of changes the tide in y'all relationship. And not saying that that the relationship is not in a good space, but it's almost like it's not.
No, it never has been.
This situation is going to be one of these moments that really changes y'all relationship. Not saying it's gonna be all hunky dory after this. It's not gonna necessarily be roses, but y'all gonna get a deeper understanding of each other, and you're gonna get a deeper understanding of your father, which is gonna help your healing process. The reason that this Tower card came up in reverse is because the relationship with your father has been very emotionally. It's brought a lot of emotional instability in your life. And there's some things that as you care for him and you really get to see him in at a certain level of vulnerability, it's going to help you to understand him a little bit more. Not to say like the way that he has parented you you're going
Mhm.
to excuse or it's going to be okay, but just you're going to have a different understanding of him as a person. When we humanize our parents, sometimes it helps us to understand why they make the mistakes that they made, and not to say that we excuse those mistakes or those mistakes are okay, but just saying like when we're able to realize our parents were once in our positions at our ages, and we understand that they were trying to figure their shit out too, that they had trauma, that they had damage, that they never got healing from, that they didn't have anywhere that they could come and find community, especially as Black men. There's that lack of community in their healing process. Okay. So it's going to help you to really understand him as a person, and not just taking him out of the category as your father, but looking at him as a man with the wounds that he's carrying on the inside. You're gonna see him in a way that you haven't before, and just know that the work that you've been doing on yourself needs to continue, but you'll see where it comes in handy. It's gonna come in very handy for you in certain moments, and I think this is an opportunity for you. I think it's the opportunity. The Ace of Cups comes up in reverse, and I feel like it's just speaking to me about the there's a lot of healing that has to be done with y'all relationship, and it may not all happen, but at the end of the day, you're going to. There's going to be some progress in y'all relationship. There's going to be some
Okay.
progress. There's going to be some frustration too. Okay, trust and believe that. But y'all gonna make some progress. Y'all gonna make
Okay.
some progress. I'm gonna pull some oracle cards. I just feel like, ooh, I'm feeling your emotions. Feeling your emotions. Um, yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. Was this situation where he ain't had nowhere to go, or
But
you just
he has nobody else. Nobody else.
so you
Yeah.
reluctantly let him in?
I always say my mama raised me better.
Yeah, kind of like that. You know what? If I wasn't a better person, I'd let your ass be out there in the cold.
Yep.
But you know
Yep.
what? This is very divine. This is very divine. And I want you to look at it that way. Okay? Spirit is giving y'all an opportunity, but it has to be taken by both of you. It's not just an opportunity for you, it's not just an opportunity for him. It's an opportunity for y'all relationship as a father and a daughter to mend. But it's, do you want it? Or are you going to allow that pain to stand in the way of y'all progress? Triumph. I feel like at the end of the day, again, y'all, this gonna be very healing for y'all relationship. So be open to it. Be open to it. Bottom of the deck says positive movement forward. Positive movement forward. Be open to it though. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
coming
ma'am.
through. Sending you
All right.
love. Good night.
Bye.
All right. All right. Kenyatta is the last person I am taking. I am closing um my list. All right. So the Erica, actually, did I get Janelle? Okay. The Erica is next. All right. Who's the Erica? Comment down below so I can bring you in, boo. I like doing this like this much better. Like when y'all come on, I can see y'all beautiful faces. We can talk. You know, y'all can talk back to me. I'm not waiting on y'all to type a response. Like, I'm loving this. All right. Hi, what's up, boo? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. All right, let's pull some cards for D. Erica. Spirit, provide me with a clear message for D. Erica. Whatever it is that she needs to know, allow her to receive that. How you doing, D. Erica?
I'm good. Um,
Don't
just
tell me
chilling.
good. Like, how are you?
I really am. I'm good.
Okay. All right.
I'm pregnant right now, so
Okay. 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 And the reason I said it like that is because a lot of times we're conditioned when somebody says, "How are
yeah,
you?" to just say, "I'm good," even if we're feeling burdened, you know?
yeah.
So I want to make sure I'm allowing y'all to express that in this space. This is a safe space for us to be however we are in this in the moment, you know? All
Thank
right.
you. I appreciate it.
And congratulations on your pregnancy.
Thank you.
All right. So we got the Six of Staffs in reverse that leads our reading. All right. So with the Six of Staffs, it's sometimes when it comes in reverse, it's almost feeling like the energy of defeat. You know, it's like we're feeling overburdened. We're feeling like we're not exactly in the flow of our winning energy that maybe we're used to experiencing. Um, does that resonate? Are you feeling like that? Are you feeling defeated in some kind of way?
Now that I
And it
think
could even
about
be, it could be a little bit of overwhelm in some area of our life, and we're gonna get clarity on it, but that's what came up first.
it. Okay.
um the Six of Staffs in reverse, and then we have the Three of Cups that comes up in reverse. Um, I almost feel like there's some kind of disconnection maybe with your circle. Are you feeling like a little bit kind of like the odd man out right now? Or just disconnected, maybe like y'all are growing in different directions, and
Yeah,
so there's this like void, kind of a little bit of loneliness maybe in that sense.
yeah,
Okay.
that's, yeah. I resonate with that. Yeah,
Okay,
most
so maybe
definitely.
that's where this energy was coming from, just,
Okay.
and it happens when, especially in moments like we're pregnant, our life is changing, maybe we're getting into new relationships or we're getting married, just those major life changes that occur. As those things occur, sometimes our circle feels a little further than, it doesn't feel as enclosed as it once did, I feel like this is a temporary thing though. I feel like this is just kind of, um, due to the process of what you're experiencing in your life. So you will feel a little bit, outside of the circle at moments. But just know that you know the people that you can call on. You know the people that'll be there. And tonight I've been talking about vulnerability. So even allowing yourself to tell your friends, like, I've been feeling left out by you hoes, and just like letting them know, like, y'all hoes don't call me for brunch. I'm pregnant. I be hungry. Like y'all go out, y'all don't say nothing. Girl, be quiet. So, being vulnerable, letting them know, like, my feelings hurt. Y'all didn't invite me to lunch. I'm hungry too. And just letting them know, because sometimes our friends don't realize, they may think, oh, you have all this going on, so I didn't think that you had time, or that you would necessarily be interested. Not trying to leave you out, but yeah, we just didn't think you was gonna want to go. You've been tired. So just being vulnerable and allowing ourselves to just speak our truth and just let our people know, when we're feeling a little left out. I feel like also though that you've come through some things where, um, there was some maybe in the recent past. I feel like, this energy comes with like that betrayal, or kind of like a break in certain bonds and friendships. But with it coming in reverse, I feel like you're healing from some of those things that, kind of came through trying to break you. Maybe, some true colors being shown in certain circumstances and situations that were really hurtful. Felt very betrayed in certain situations. But I feel like you're coming through this energy and you're kind of like healing past that. And I think we got to honor ourselves and give space to ourselves when we need to actually like mourn relationships. Friendships and breaks in bonds can be just as painful as breakups. You know, so we have to allow ourselves, honor ourselves enough to mourn those situations, and know that we're not crazy for still feeling like that 6 months down the line. Or it's been almost a year, but I'm still hurt. I'm still mad. Like, we have to honor ourselves and allow ourselves to feel these feelings and emotions, and really like let those things exist in our lives so we can get through them. When we act like those things don't exist, when we act like our feelings ain't hurt, like we act like we moving right along, who cares? Fuck you. It's like we're not really doing ourselves justice at the end of the day, because we're pretending like we're not hurt when we are. So it's okay to feel, even now, still kind of feel a little bit of that pain and betrayal and that hurt, but let's work through it. Okay. The Page of Cups comes through. New opportunities can represent that beautiful bump that you're growing, but also representing like new relationships, new bonds that are going to present themselves and be formed to support you in this new aspect of your journey. Is this your first baby?
It is.
Congratulations! That is so beautiful. Yes. So you need, like, understand that some of those people had to fall off because there's a new community waiting for you, a community of moms, of new moms. So be on the lookout for your community and be open to that. You're gonna get, trust me, when something leaves, there's no choice and no option but for something better to come in and fill its
Yes.
place. We don't
Say
accept
that.
anything
Yes.
less than better than what we had. Okay?
Yes.
Let me pull your oracle card. And then Nyla, I got you. Disruption. Disruption is the oracle card that comes up. Spirit, clarify this. sometimes what feels like it's disrupting us is actually coming in to help us restructure, you know. So where we're quick to like fight against what feels like disruptive energy, sometimes we gotta let that stuff play its position and play its role because it comes through to actually help allow us to stay in our lane and to play our position, you know, and to fulfill assignments. Because without that so-called disruption, you know, we wouldn't be able to play our role. Financial and material changes. I would say with this, be mindful of your spending, pay attention to your savings, you know, and your investments. This is a really good year for us to be educating ourselves and making investments or educating ourselves. We already are making investments, really educating ourselves on where our 401k is going, or what our money is really doing. This is the year for us to do that because this is the year of either financial, like the gap is going to get wider and wider between the upper and the lower class in this country. So it's really important for us to educate ourselves on investments and making sure that we're just watching our spending, not saying we can't do nice things for ourselves, but just being mindful that we're also taking care of business and we're also preparing and setting things to the side for moments like what's going on here in Texas. You know, when you least expect it, you got to be in a hotel for a week and you don't want to stay at the Motel 6. You got to be ready for those things, you know? So congratulations. I'm so happy for
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Take care and thank you for coming through.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, guys. Let's see who's next. I got Nyla. Nyla, I see you, boo. I got Nyla, and then I got Kenyatta. Kenyatta's my last one. Hey, Nyla. How
Hi.
are you?
I'm good in you.
Good, good, good. All right, let's see what the cards are saying. The messages. Where are you? Where do you live? You live in Jersey. Oh, y'all still got a lot of cold up there too, huh?
Yes,
Y'all used to that.
this is true.
Y'all used to that. Do y'all power be going out when y'all have like all these blizzards and stuff?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Spirit, provide me with a message for Nyla. Okay. Pull one more. Are you entering like a new phase of your life?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah.
Is there like a breakup or like a major change when it came to like something heart related, like some kind of very close relationship? May not be romantic, but someone very like a relationship very close to your heart. Has there been some
Uh,
disruption in that?
uh, I don't
Family
think I have.
member, family member, loved one, close friends.
I would say close friend. There's been some disruptions in like my group of friends.
Okay. You got the Six of Swords that comes up first, and it comes up like to me symbolizing like a new beginning, kind of like crossing from one side of the bank across to the other. So it's almost like how, you know, refugees might cross over. We think about people coming from like South America into like Florida, or you know, the lower region of the United States, like that kind of journey, kind of like going into some very new energy, something very new and foreign to you. And it's almost like whatever this change is, you are going to need some support. This is a year where we really need to build community relationships. We need to build relationships with, and not just in like neighborhood where we live, but just community as in where we exist career wise, where we exist spiritually, where we exist in the physical sense. So be open to that and look for your community. Seek them out. If you seek them out, you will find them. You'll find them. Um, the Three of Swords indicated a sense of like heartbreak, heartache, just hurt feelings, hurt emotion, bruised emotions. And it's okay, like I was telling Z Erica just a moment ago, like we have to hold space for ourselves to mourn situations or to be sad and disappointed about our relationships that matter to us, having discord, and really being honest about that and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. And if that is a good friend of yours, giving space to some time so emotions can calm down and people can like really get out of their emotions and really get in a sensible mental space. But then in that space, being able to accept, the roles that we play and accept, that we don't always get it right. Sometimes we're the problem. And I'm not saying that's your case. I'm just saying, a part of any relationship is knowing when to humble ourselves and just say like, listen, this is not where I want our relationship to be. So let me accept, the part and the role that I play in this relationship, maybe the role that I play in this situation. And let's let it be, and make amends of and put things back together. I feel like this is a relationship that really matters to you. And I almost feel like, this is not really a battle that you really want to fight. So give it some time and trust your intuition where it leads you. It may lead you to step out and be the person to break the silence, but it may not. It may, lead you to just hold your peace and be available when that person comes back. Okay. You got the Knight of Swords that came up upright. The Knight of Swords represents conflict. It represents, battles. It represents just kind of people bumping heads, that kind of thing. If you look at it, it carries that energy. The what is this? The lion or tiger or whatever it is, jumping on him and attacking him. So I almost feel like this was something that you didn't necessarily start. So it's okay if you just want to hold your space and hold your peace and stay where you are. Or when the opportunity presents itself, really being honest about what you will and will not accept in your relationships, friendships, parental child relationships, or otherwise. It's really important for us to set boundaries. Boundaries keep us protected, keep us from hurting other people as well. So I think that it's really important that if you did not start this situation, that you weren't the cause, and you weren't the cause, you really examined yourself and been real about the situation, like really just setting some firmer boundaries to not allow people to disrespect you or cross certain lines with you. And then your last card was the Three of Coins in reverse. The Three of Coins in itself represents, a lot of times represents like a teacher coming in or us learning something. I feel like there is something that you had, like a path that you started to go down, and maybe you've been kind of seeking like some deeper knowledge, maybe trying to grow your knowledge or insight career wise or in some other way, maybe even spiritually. But I feel like the fact that you haven't really found someone that you can learn from has been what has stopped you. Does that resonate at all?
Okay.
I think if you just, it's like this: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay. So in the meantime, whatever that thing is it spiritual or is it more career wise?
Oh,
Okay. Books never hurt, getting books and getting into books and just being open, being like a sponge and just allowing yourself to absorb as much information about whatever it is that you're trying to learn about. And then when the teacher presents itself, one, when we allow ourselves to be open and really be like sponges and just submerging ourselves in information related to whatever it is that we're trying to learn about, whenever we get like that, when a real teacher comes along, you can recognize that person immediately. But when we are expecting somebody to just tell us everything and we're not willing to do our own research, we're not willing to do our own work, that's when game get ran on us, because when we don't know what we don't know until we start to learn. So it's going to be really important, if you don't want to get game ran on you, that you get into some books and you start reading some books. Get on YouTube, watch different videos on that topic, watch a bunch of them. Don't just get stuck on one person because maybe their aesthetics are pleasing or they look like they have it all together. Like, really do your due diligence, and not just in YouTube videos, but really like ordering some books. So if it's spiritual things, start you can start by joining my book club. We're about to read the Kabbalion. That is a great foundational spiritual book if you are new to just like non-religious spirituality, or you're just trying to grow spiritually. It's a great book because it teaches you the spiritual laws. So get in the book club or get in a spiritual book club. I recommend mine because we read good books and we have good conversations, and it's free. So get into the book club. This is the last run that I'm having where I'm accepting like new people into the book club because we're doing some new things with it. But if you want to get in, you are more than welcome to join us. And we'll be reading the Kabbalion, which is a great book to start when it comes to spirituality. When it comes to your career wise, get into some books, start picking up some books, and don't be afraid to do your own research. Okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna pull an oracle card for you, and then I'm gonna wrap up. I'll wrap it up. Right. Provide me with, okay. All right, so two cards fell out for you. The first is the heart chakra. The heart chakra. Definitely balance out that heart chakra. Do some heart chakra meditative work. They have some good guided meditations on YouTube for like the heart chakra. I also have a series on my website, um, on my blog, about the chakra system. So you can go and you can read up on the heart chakra. But definitely the heart chakra is a place where like how we love, and especially with that three of swords coming up for your reading, like I really strongly recommend you do some heart chakra work. Like, your feelings are hurt right now. um so attend to your heart. Okay, attend to your heart and allow your heart chakra to receive some healing and some alignment and some love. Okay. The other card is rest and rejuvenate. Rest and rejuvenate. When we go through like emotional disturbances or emotional crisis, we have to allow ourselves some time to kind of step back and just like lick our wounds and really like mourn whatever is going on in our life and be emotional about it. And that's okay, but allow yourself that space. Okay. I hope that you there with me. You still with me?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
exuding everything you're saying.
And it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry when our friends hurt our feelings. That's okay. You know, we don't have to be tough guys and tough girls all the time. It's okay. And we don't have to necessarily show that to everybody, but we have to, know where our safe spaces are when we need to be vulnerable, when we need to just cry and say, like, that shit hurt. That shit hurt. Like, I've been there. I've had friends, break my heart and hurt my feelings terribly, betray me in the worst kind of way. And I had to mourn that. I had to acknowledge that. And I also had to like reestablish my boundaries. Like, no, depending on the violation, like, you cannot come back here again. There is no space for you. I'm gonna forgive you when I'm ready. Okay, when my heart is ready. Until then, no, 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 and no. And I'm still cry because my feelings are still hurt. and I can say all that, you know? So, all right, sending you love, babe.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night. All right. So, Shakita, and then Kenyatta. Okay. These are my last two. I got Shakita and then Kenyatta. And that's going to be the end. Let me invite Shakita on. Hey,
Hey, girl.
how are you?
I'm lit tonight, honey.
Oh, you've been coming through with the energy and the wisdom, girl. Thank you.
We snowed in. Hell, this is the most excitement I done had in a minute.
Where are you? Are you in Texas or where?
I know I'm in Memphis.
You in
We
Memphis?
getting
Oh,
it
y'all
today.
snowed in too?
Yeah, we just got, like, it just started melting today.
What? You got all your supplies together?
Yeah, girl. I have
Okay.
this groceries delivered and everything. I'm
Okay.
good.
All right, good, good.
Glad you good.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was interesting. I will say that. And that first day, I mean, Monday was exhausting because it was like, okay, get up and start moving. My
Yeah.
fiance was like, it's cold in here. And I'm just like, all right, I got to do my part. He had his part to do. Like, he secured the transportation, made sure he took care of all the, all the heavy lifting type of stuff that I'm not gonna do. I believe firmly in gender roles, and that's just how I kick it, and that's not everybody's way, but that's my way. And so he handled his parts, and I handle mine. When we have to step into each other's roles, and it's necessary, we do that, and that's cool. So
That's dope that y'all got it all worked out, honey. Some people be together 10, 20 years and can't figure that thing out.
I look. I asked, I received, and I'm trying to take care of it and make sure that I'm appreciative of it.
Thank
Sometimes when
God
we
for
we
me.
ask for things, we're not really ready for them. So it came
Absolutely.
in the right timing because
You
I,
were in alignment for what you asked for.
you know, because at a point I wasn't. All right, so all right, Spirit, provide me with clear message. So we got the three of coins that comes up in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like your place as the student has now shifted. I believe you're moving into the place where you're supposed to be the teacher. We're always the student, we're always the student. But I feel like your role, like you were under somebody, I feel like this is switching. You're moving up on the pedestal into that teacher role. And when
Mm-hmm.
necessary, you can move back into the student role when it's time for you to expand your knowledge and your insight. But I feel like your role is changing, and um, it's really important for you to prepare for that because it doesn't always look how we think it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always feel how we think it should feel or will feel, but there are going to be some challenging moments as you transition from student to teacher. The five of swords comes up, and it's really speaking to the fact that you need to make sure your protection is up, especially as you step up in your role and you step vocally up in your role, publicly up in your role. Like, be sure to have your protection together, and your practice together, because not everybody that comes through as a friend is really a friend. There are some people
Mm-hmm.
that wait on you to relax your guard and let your guard down, and they come through with other intentions.
Mm-hmm.
So be mindful and be careful. Pay attention to what people around you are showing you as well. Um, Even people that we least suspect. I always say, don't put nothing past nobody.
Amen.
Nobody. Okay, my grandma used to say, your own mother will trick you.
No,
So
no.
your own mother, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful. She said, don't even trust your own mother. And she was telling me, like, don't ever put anything past anybody. So you have to just keep your eyes open at all
Mm-hmm.
times, okay? You then had the magician card that came in reverse. I just feel like, believe in yourself. Believe in the knowledge that you have, the wisdom that you have. Because sometimes we when we're talking to our friends, we're all comfortable, we're relaxed, we can spit that knowledge. But then when it comes to us really stepping up in our role where we're supposed to be, we get a little intimidated sometimes because it's like that imposter syndrome will try to move up and try to
Mm-hmm.
speak to us. So just keep that energy in check. You got what you need. You got the tools. You here. You ain't here. You here. Okay. So you
For
got the
sure.
tools, but not only do you have the tools, because sometimes we have the tools and people don't know what to do with them, but you know what to
Mm-hmm.
do with them. Okay. So trust your own magic and trust your own abilities. You've been a student for a long time. It's time for you to move forward because there's some wisdom and there's some things that you're supposed to be giving to other people now. Okay. You
So
then have the Tower card in reverse. And I just, again, think it's speaking to anxiety. Do you experience anxiety at all?
yeah, not chronically.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've been doing like readings on YouTube and stuff, it's gotten a lot better. But there's just this internal fear of like talking myself out of big things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll talk myself down.
Don't.
Yeah.
Fear is fake. It's
Mm-hmm.
not real. The only thing that is real is what we do with this energy, what we do with the tools, how we are the alchemists in our own lives, like how we take that magic and we wield it and we generate the energy that's needed to move forward, the energy that's needed to transfer and transform things. So this isn't real. This is not real. It's going to pop up. It's going to pop up time and time again. It's popping up to derail you, okay, to keep you from doing what you're supposed to do. There are so many times when I get ready to go live that I experience anxiety. Even tonight, it was like I was getting ready to hit the live button, and it was like, "What's your hesitation?" I got up, I walked around the room a little bit, and my spirit was like, "What's your hesitation?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you can't fake the funk and like you ain't like that's not something that is not." And anxiety was trying to creep in, but it's trying to disguise itself by making me like procrastinate. But that's what it is. Procrastination is really
Yeah.
fear. It's us allowing our fear to be in the driver's seat. So you're not here. This doesn't exist. Okay, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
exist. So you got it. You got what you need. You got what you need. and
Oh,
and we are here to help bring people into focus and then help them get in alignment with their purpose you know
right.
so and yours is beyond what you're even doing right now, and you know that there's something bigger for you.
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I had to like kind of pause because my energy and my intuition just has been telling me that I needed to just pause and regroup because there are some messages trying to come through that are bigger than what I can even imagine.
Accelerated motion. It's time for you
Mm-hmm.
to get moving. It's time for you to get moving.
Let's get it.
Bottom of the deck is light. Okay. Sometimes I have to just look at myself in the mirror and be like, I am that light. I am the
Period.
light. I am the
Period.
light. Okay. I am the
Yeah.
light. I don't have to look to nobody else for guidance and direction. When it's necessary, spirit let me know to seek out guidance and seek out
Right.
direction. But questioning every move, everything that I'm about to do, looking to somebody for confirmation, you
Right.
know,
Validation.
yes. You got also the shadow. So understand you are the light and the darkness, and you find that balance in that, and that's when the real alchemy happens. Okay, that's when the real
That middle
alchemy,
path.
that middle path. It's not shunning our shadow. It's bringing our shadow into integration in a way that serves the collective, in a way that we're called to serve. We're not called to just be the light, because even without the darkness, there is no light. Light doesn't
Right.
exist without it. So we have to understand that balance and make sure we keep that in balance. Okay? Because you're a
Gotcha.
warrior. You're a warrior. So make sure you keep that light and that darkness in balance, in perfect harmony with each other. They'll work together if we balance
Yes,
them right.
man. It
Okay?
get ugly when it don't.
It sure does. Trust me, I know. Trust me. I
I
know.
appreciate you.
Oh, likewise. Thank you for coming through, love. Have a good
All
night.
right. You too. You take care.
You too. All right. Last one. Let's see. Where is Kenyatta? Kenyatta, you still in here? Kenyatta, you still in here, boo? Kenyatta, just comment down here for me if you're still in here, boo. Let me see. G. Renee said, "You're a beautiful person with much knowledge and wisdom. This is a good word. I feel betrayal and hurt." Thank you for your comment, love. I appreciate it. Sexy QT said, "I needed to hear this." G. Renee said, "Good word. Yes, I lived in Dallas for 10 years. I live in LA now." Girl, good luck. Because, woo, y'all, LA prices, just the cost of living is just too much. I ain't gonna say it's too much, but it's a lot, okay? All right, Kenyatta, come through, boo.
Baby, what's happening? Showing your ass and driving. So drop. I need.
Let me see. This don't even sound like my little playlist. I'm waiting on Kenyatta. Kenyatta, come on, boo.
Situation will arrive in her life, but you gotta be smart about it.
Your
Set up
camera's not working. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pull for you anyway. Let me see. Let me try again. And if you can't, then I'll just pull. That's okay. You don't need to apologize. If you can come through, then if you can get on the camera, then that's cool. If not, that's cool. I'll still read you. All right. Let me pull these cards for Kenyatta. Review these two people. And again, you guys definitely join the book club. This is the last cycle that I am opening up the book club. It's going to then only be available through my subscription based community, for my subscription based community. So if you guys want to get in the book club, this is the last opening of this door in the way that I have it open and available for the community right now. So definitely also join my mailing list, subscribe to my podcast. Make sure you catch up on the podcast. And I will have a new episode out like ASAP. As soon as I get back home and get situated, I'll release the next episode as part 2 of Ancestor Veneration. So, all right, we had a ton of cards just falling out. All right, so your first card is the High Priestess in reverse. I feel like Kenyatta, like you're not quite trusting yourself. You're having some difficulty in hearing your own voice and trusting yourself, like hearing that internal voice and trusting yourself. Um, and the star card came up in reverse. The star card comes up, usually the energy that it brings is like a healing energy. You know, it's the energy that comes up when we are actually like receiving or doing some healing work. Usually after a tower moment. You know, the tower card comes before the star card. With it coming up in reverse, I almost feel like you're not allowing yourself to go through that healing process that you really need to go through. And almost like you're trying to control it, like you're trying to control the outcome of things, and you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I know that's a word that I've been speaking all night, but that has been the community message that we've been receiving. It's like about community and vulnerability, and you're not allowing yourself. It's like the Emperor comes up, and this card represents like dominance. Okay, it's like the masculine card in the deck, one of the major masculine cards in the tarot deck. With this coming up relative to your healing process, I feel like you're not able to connect with your intuition in the way that you want to because you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to heal. And you're trying to control things. I feel like, you know, you're going to have to release the need to control every aspect of your life and allow yourself to go with the flow of your life. Allow yourself to experience life, you know, to experience your journey. Um, Without trying to feel like you have to control every outcome and every aspect of your experience. And let me know if this resonates with you. You then have the Queen of Staffs that came up in reverse. And the Queen of Staffs, when she comes through, like she usually brings like creative energy. She's very expressive. She's passionate. I feel like with this coming in reverse, because you are trying to control so many things about your healing process and your journey, you just constantly want to be in control of everything instead of surrendering to the journey and to the process. Because you're carrying yourself in this energy, it's blocking your creativity, and it's blocking you in not just your healing, but it's also blocking your ability to create in the way that you really truly can create. Okay. So if you want to experience like your creativity in the way that it used to flow for you, and you want to experience really true healing, you're going to have to surrender to it. You're going to have to do that shadow work, and you're going to have to get in and really go deeper with yourself. Um, you then have the Page of Coins that came upright, and the Page of Coins is about, it's about us learning. It's like a youthful card, so it's like new experiences, like learning something new, being open to learning, being open to the experience. And again, that's what this is calling for you. You then have the King of Staffs that came up upright, and the King of Staffs is more so bringing the energy of like strength. He's bringing strength, he's bringing respect. Like instead of using the energy that you come through, that's coming through, because you have a very strong personality just in general. Like you're a very strong individual. So instead of using your strength to try to control like how your story unfolds, use that strength to support yourself in your healing process. Okay, that is that aspect of the message. Let me pull your oracle card. A lot of times we just have to know like where to place that energy that we carry. It's not that it's bad. It's not that like our energy is not good or bad. It's just energy. And if we misplace our energy, then it can we can see adverse effects of that strong, like dominating energy. Like you were given that, you have that dominating energy for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? But don't use it to try to control like every aspect of how your story unfolds. Let your story unfold how it needs to unfold. And I know that a lot of times when we get hurt, and we find it like we trusted someone, or we just didn't know any better, and we end up getting hurt, it's like we want to make sure that that never happens again. Okay, but we just need to learn from like our poor decisions sometimes, learn from like the fact that we didn't know any better, and do better. The universe supports you in this process of healing. You're not by yourself in this, and you're being supported by the universe right now. You just need to accept the help. You need to accept the support from the universe, and you'll be led and you'll be guided to the exact place that you need to go. Awareness. Like when we go through these processes where like we've been hurt so badly that we never want that thing to happen again, so we like are constantly on defense, we're constantly have our walls up. Instead of having your wall up, allow your wall to come down, but just stay aware. Stay aware. This is third eye action, and it's also crown chakra action, because he's allowing his third eye to be the eye that's seeing for him. Okay, but not only that, that connection in his crown chakra with the universe that supports him is what's going to allow him to move through this, being vulnerable enough to receive love, to receive support, to receive assistance when needed, but also wise enough to not fall for the same tricks and the same game that we used to. Okay? That's what awareness brings. Awareness allows us to let that wall down. But also it allows us to be in tune enough that we aren't falling for the same games that we used to. Okay? There's a beautiful balance that comes into play when we surrender. And again, you're supported. You're supported. So I hope that that brought clarity to you. Thank you guys for coming through and bringing y'all beautiful energy that y'all always bring whenever I come on live. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for all your donations. I really appreciate it. Again, if you guys are in Texas and you guys need resources, or you're, you in Texas, period, and you dealing with all this, check in with me on the DMs. Like, if I see some resources, I'll definitely forward them over to you guys or tag you guys. But let me know how you guys are doing, how y'all are holding up. And I'll be back at the beginning of the month for our March readings. And that's going to be my last reading for like my monthly reading that I do on Instagram. So I hope you guys join me, join the book club. Make sure y'all are in attendance for the next meeting for the book club, because that's when I'm closing it out to whoever is there. All right. I love you guys. Y'all stay safe, stay warm. Thank y'all so much for coming through with y'all beautiful energy. And I will see you guys later. Peace. Whew. Thanks, babe, for being so. You there?